He's back on location. I'm with my family. Want to shout out to Jamela and Jamal for letting me use their crib, taking it over. Hopefully Michigan beat Ohio State. That's what we're looking forward to. I know they don't like to hear that, but that's okay. But we're here, with Team Evo. This was an interview that had to be done. And I'm home, and I want to sit down with my little brothers, and we want to clear the air with a lot of things. It's not so much clearing the air with anything, but I just want to know a lot about that team, how it was formed, how it was put together, why did it break up? Let's get it out in the open today. So we have a lot of the brothers that's here. So the people that are here, shout yourself out. My man.
Ty,
Dio.
Donnie B.
Coach Rowe. Can't see Donnie B.
Homie.
Jacob Part 2.
Mel.
Ace. Okay. Coach, did Coach say something?
Yeah, I said Coach Rowe.
Okay, we're going to check him. Make sure you're all right, man.
in the building.
We want to make sure you're all right. So we're going to start off with this, couple of light questions before I get into the heavy hitting questions. When did it start for Team Evo? Like, how did y'all brothers come together, actually?
Well, I guess we're going to start right here.
Well, actually, it started back in '91. Ernie Moore, he started it up for PAL. They wanted to get some youth baseball going because they had St. John's Field sitting there, nobody was using it. And he came to me one day and he said, well, I'm thinking about starting a baseball league because, I had experience playing, baseball and Little League and all that. I personally didn't want to do it because at the time, the atmosphere, we were losing a lot of young kids. They didn't have the discipline of a two-parent home. And, it was kind of a sticky situation until I met Don. Me and Don kind of formed up. I was more of the disciplinarian of the team, where Don he likes statistics and things of that nature. So it worked out well. So we went there. Mr. Moore had a draft. They had so many kids there that day, but me and Don got very lucky. We had our first draft pick, 10-year-old kid named Jamel Ratliff, followed by Ray Pender. Wow. Yeah. So it all turned out. It turned out pretty well to start. But the most important thing, and I don't think nobody really realizes this, is that these young men had a lot of support from their parents. There's always their parents there. Miss Barbara was there. Mm-hmm. Tyreek's parents was there. Ray's grandfather was there. There was so many parents there. And I have to give them a lot of credit because I was able to discipline them, not only with just how to play the game, but what do you need to do to be successful as a ball player. I never told these guys they were going to win championships. I explained to them, this is what you have to do to be a ball player. This is what you have to do to be successful in life. Make a commitment to something, and it's not going to be easy. You can't quit. If you put your mind in it, you're in it. And that was the most important thing. The younger guys like Mel and Boss, we had so many guys, they kind of took to it. The older rebels, I had to put my foot in their butts a few times. When you're in Kingsborough and Smurfs Village, you're coming from these places, the first thing you have to do, Albany, first thing you got to do is let them know, I'm going to respect you, but you have to respect me back. So if you don't want to get what, this is democracy. I'm not going to hold your hand. If you want to play, this is what you need to do. For the most part, a lot of them fell in with it, but some guys, you put your foot in their butt a few times, but then after that, you can't use them because their minds are set up that you're going to bend for them and they're going to do what they want. I couldn't have that because when you have the younger kids behind them and they're looking at this stuff, and one thing I always told these guys, if you're playing for the Rebels, we all do the same things the same way. I'm not giving Damian this leeway, and I'm not giving Tyreek the same thing. Either we're all going to be together, or you're not going to be here. So once we fell in, everything got good. I mean, I remember the older guys. We must have lost like 10 games in a row before we actually started winning.
Wow.
You know, with the younger guys, I mean,
Was they good though?
Yeah, they were good.
You know, some kids are scrubs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking.
I fall under that category.
Well,
I wasn't good.
Well, I'll tell you this. You know what?
Because you know, as coaches, you know, I coach basketball, but you see something in a kid that you can say, you know what, I can teach you. If you're willing to give that effort to teach that young man, so that's why you put that energy into him. That's why I was asking you, you know, did you see something special in them the way you wanted to say, you know what, I can work with them. You know, they're going to be something special. Because you can see a long-term growth from a kid. Because I've coached kids since third grade, and I see kids now. I got at college levels already playing.
Right.
Because I can see from young where they're going to be if I keep staying on them. Right. So did you see that early on with them?
Yes, actually, I can't think of any one kid in particular that didn't show any potential as far as being a baseball player. Matter of fact, there was one kid. Who's the guy that got that hit off of JoJo? What was his name? I can't think of his name. Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't very good, but you know what? He ran every lap. He took every ground ball. When I had to chastise him, he took it in stride. And when Don told me he got that hit that day, I actually cried. You know why? Because when you see a kid out there and he's trying, and his teammates is pulling for him, you know, that's what's important. Once you get everybody as a team, and they say, okay, well, Sean ain't that good, but he's here. We're going to make him feel like he's part of the team. He's with us. And when you see a breakthrough like that, it makes you feel good, not only as a coach, but as a person, because you see somebody out there and they're trying. I'm not as good as Mel. I'm not as good as Donnie. I'm not as good as John. But you know what? I'm out there hustling. I'm doing my best. And those are the things that make you grow as a coach. Because it makes you feel as though whatever you're doing, whatever you're giving, is showing in these kids. Exactly.
Those intangibles that you can't get out of sometimes. Your superstars don't want to always run. I'm telling you, I ain't want to run. I'm not going to lie to you.
Gary.
But those guys that's there, you know, you need 9 to win. You know, your superstars are going to always show up. But for that young man to be doing the intangibles, to get that hit, you know, that's good, man. That's I like to hear stories like that. That's a good thing. So what's next for the young men? Like, you know, what happened after that? Did they just keep growing, or how did they? Rest in peace to Don. Did he pass away? That's the one that passed away. Rest in peace to Don. Salute to Don.
Number 29.
Yeah, so, you know, we definitely going to pay our homage to that young man for being here.
Well, after that first year, did we win the first year?
No.
But the little rebels,
Little
I
Rebels.
won every year I was on.
Okay.
Every season we had, we won.
Well, the Big Rebels.
Okay, man, put it out there.
Put that out there.
Let's put it out there.
8 in a row.
I didn't come to the following year. I'm sorry.
Including beating the Tigers.
He said we
I ain't
won
never
no
lose
matter
to the Rebel in the championship. That's all I got to say.
Well,
I can't talk for the Big Rebels.
no, you know.
Then when I went to the Big Rebels, I took that same attitude to the Big Rebels, and we won every year again.
Well, you know something.
We know who Drake just kicked in.
Oh yeah, I'm coming out this hoodie soon.
Well, when I got to the Rebels, Mel was already in the league for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was new. I didn't know nothing about baseball. What happened was the guy, my friend Gary, he played with them. And he was like, yo, first of all, we were supposed to be on our senior trip. I never went. So I just hung out with Gary for the whole day. And then he was like, yo, we got baseball practice. You want to come? I'm like, sure, whatever. I've never played baseball a day in my life. I get to the practice, and Dawn is there, Romaine is there. They asked me, you know, where do you play? I'm like, nowhere. So they started doing hitting practice. Now, this is where I guess they seen that I had something. because they threw at the time their best pitcher, which was Ian, Fat Ian, on the mound, and I proceeded to hit the shit out the like. I was hitting Ian like I guess it was beginner's luck. I want to say, but Dawn and Romaine came to me like, no, we're gonna keep you. They kept me. I think I played 3 games that whole year.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what Don and Romaine did so well. They kept the group together for so long.
Okay.
Right, because I had my.
That's what I noticed. I wasn't part of their team. I was the one trying to beat these guys.
Oh, you was playing against them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was playing against
So
these
I
guys.
was-
I thought y'all
on the outside looking in.
It was always me,
These guys grew up together.
my friend Gary, and my little brother John.
Okay.
We all was right there on
That's
the same
interesting
block.
story. That's interesting. Did you end up beating them?
No, they beat the Braves.
He had to join.
Like I said, I have
Everybody knows the ground ball.
I would have figured he would have said, "Listen, I'm about to go on over there because
He came
I came over. Everybody knows the ground ball. Her around the world. There was a ground ball right to me. The game went right through my legs. They won a championship. They started playing the music and all that. I'm balling, crying. I'm like 10 years old. So I'm like, damn, I can't beat these guys.
They was on the Bombers.
I was like, I'm just going to join them. Yeah.
Oh, right.
He was on the shortstop on the
Yeah, we had a
Bombers.
girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, she
You know, I thought about her the other day, too, when y'all won the second year. Because remember I told y'all, if we win the first game, the second game, I'm just putting our best out there. And she bugged me from the second inning all the way to the end of the game. And even at the end of the game, you and John was telling me, said, listen, we won, so what are you upset about? You know, she cried and she was like, oh, you didn't put me in.
Yeah, we had a girl picture. She was
Yeah, she was next. She was next.
though. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, she was good now. But you know, the most important thing, especially with Tyreek, because I'll take my hat off to Ty. That first year, like you said, you only played those 3 games. And then after, I don't know what you did over the winter, but after that, we couldn't keep him out the lineup for nothing. Catcher, right field. If we need him at first base, he could play there. You know, it was just a process of growing. And once these guys decided that they wanted to come out there and they wanted to run the laps as much as they complained, you know, but then when we started playing, everybody's going from first to third. Yeah. Everybody's still in the base. It's 95 degrees. Nobody's tired.
I think for me, though, it was that year when the RBI League first came into play, and I didn't make it. I literally cried. I didn't make the RBI team that year, the first year, when they had the Yankee uniforms. Me and John, Mel was too young. And me and John didn't make that team. I went home and cried because I'm like, why wasn't I good enough to be on this traveling team? So throughout that season, I showed him why I should have been on this team, and the other guys shouldn't have. Because I remember it was these 2 Dread brothers that was on the team, and me and my brother, we looking like we way better than them. Why are they on the team and we not? Well, so that whole season I went through, and I'm like, I'm going to show him why I should have been playing with this traveling team.
Well, you know, that's a credit to you, and it's a credit to Mel, because, I mean, we could have used you guys, but it was personnel's decisions that had to be made. Miss Chambers, God rest her soul, she was the one that made me take some guys that I didn't want to take. You know, but...
it's politics. You know how that goes.
Yeah, and you know,
you got to get enough players from each team to represent the whole league. That's how it goes.
It was an all-star team, an all-star traveling team, and you know we didn't make the cut. But that following year,
I mean,
it was all over.
Between PAL, RBI, you guys couldn't be stopped. I mean, we picked up you, we picked up Kevin,
Danny.
Danny.
Danny. We picked up like 4 or 5 guys that, you know, they were on other teams and they came aboard and they fell in. You know, and like I said, the most important thing to me was that when you got guys already in place, you know, the veterans of the team, they dictate what the rest of the guys are going to do and how they're going to respond to what's going on, the atmosphere of the team. You know, so like Danny, Jose.
Gary was a
those
big.
were our three horses right there.
Yeah.
Danny on the mound, Jose and Gary back, Ray Glove. Those were our horses. So for me, it was just do my part in left field. You know, I know Gary and Ray gonna do their shot. They're gonna do their part. Jose gonna get his hit. Well, I just gotta, as a leadoff batter, I just gotta take ball 4 and get on first base and let my legs do the rest. That was my whole thing. I used to get down on the butterfly all the way. I had no strike zone because I was batting lower than Jeff Bagwell to make sure I got that walk because I knew once I got on base, it was over. You know, and once I got on base, you don't even know. I was not even the best player at that time, but the leadoff batter is the one who just ignites everything. The leadoff batter gets on, it makes the number 2 batter, the 3, 4, 5 batter so much comfortable coming up to the batter's box now. I didn't realize that, you know, as a kid. I just was like, let me just get on base. But Gary used to tell me, the best place to tell me, yo, Mel, you my Mike Piazza. We need you. It's Piazza. I'm the littlest guy on the team calling me the biggest name. And so, it was definitely a good time playing baseball. You know, and shout out to Coach Don. He's not here with us no more. He had us in football. We was athletic kids. We played flag football. We played basketball. He did everything he could do to keep us off the streets. You know what I mean? Coming from a one family home, just a mom, Coach Romaine and Coach Don was the father figure the kid could ask for. You know, they had their own families, and they still donated their time to a group of guys that until they met us, they never knew we existed. And they was there every time practice get, they were there. The first 2 there, the last 2 to leave. Never asked us for nothing but the effort. No money, no nothing. Effort. Put the effort in. And it's proud to say that when you grow up to be a father now, you hold on to a lot of those things that they taught you when you was only 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, that was my brother. If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for Marvin, I would have never played baseball. He literally snatched me off the streets of hanging out in the projects and brief weight projects. Yo, come on, you're going to go play baseball. Taught me everything. So they took me to youth service. I'm down there with dudes that I thought I could play ball. These dudes, they don't know. Most of the guys that I played with over the years as I kept playing, they was in the major leagues. Louis Dos Santos, Sean Dunston, Toledo. I mean, Louis Lopez. The list goes on. So, but
Jeff,
I can't thank him enough for just getting me off the street.
Come in the camera real quick so they can see who you're talking to.
Got big bro
Ram shirt on though.
Yeah, listen, we ain't gonna judge him.
Got big bro here.
All right. That's your 5 seconds of fame. That's your 5 seconds of fame.
Got the marvelous one in the house.
Yeah. So now that you know how athletic we was, Coach Don even took it a step further and said, "Listen, we're gonna represent Albany Projects and we're gonna play softball." We like. What? So
that's one of the hardest things to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Coming from hard.
We didn't know how to hit that.
Yes.
We had no idea how to hit that.
It was slow pitch, but we did.
We could pick it.
You very athletic.
Our defense was crazy.
You were taking off our gloves in the middle of the game and playing defense.
Yeah. Our gloves was crazy.
We couldn't hit.
Right.
We lost that first year in the championship.
Yeah, we lost.
We lost.
Where was this league at?
This was housing.
It was all over. This was housing.
Okay.
We represented Albany Projects. Coach Don took us in, and we represented Albany Projects.
That first year,
first year, our defense just was good. That's how we got to the chip. We're not even going to sit there and call it what it is. And then we lost in the championship. We was like, yo, we got to come back to do this again.
Y'all played at Kingston Park, right?
We played at Kingston All over.
That's where my line
had to play.
We had to go against Charlton. Go east side. Right. Against Charlton.
They had some. The next
they
year,
lost the championship because Lonnie dropped the ball in center field.
No, actually, let me tell you what happened. The umpire called. They actually should have won.
They should have won.
The umpire said no timeout, no play.
No play.
And Gary got the shit and hit the center field.
And he dropped.
Yes.
Right after he dropped the ball. Yeah, I remember. I was there.
Yes, that was us. That was us.
They had some gay guy on the mound. His name was Quick. And he. Yo, the dude was good because he used to. We going up there we trying to hit him, and he doing. We like, yo, what is this? Like, but we beat him. Like, and then after that, I think we won like 2 more years.
We won a few more after that, and then our last year, we played in Manhattan. They had a good squad.
It was grown
men.
It
was supposed to be 16 and under.
It was 16.
They was grown men. Yeah. They had just beat somebody down, and we waited. We next to play them in the semifinals to go to the chip. Mm-hmm. And that's when our pitcher boss, God bless his soul, rest in peace, threw a perfect game. And slow pitch softball.
Ray J followed it up.
And then Ray J
did with a no
hitter. In the championship with a no hitter. Softball. We was playing against grown. When I say we was playing against grown men, they had muscles, beards. I'm lying. We was like, we was watching them play because we had just one waiting for them.
That's a credit to the defense.
Oh yeah, the defense.
Perfect game.
The infield. If I'm not mistaken, the infield was Mel, Donnie, John, Kevin, and I think JoJo. Because Don didn't play the 4 outfielders. He brought that middle.
Donnie was the short center. So we had 2 shortstops. If you think about it, we had John and Donnie. They both were shortstop. Donnie played short center. I played second at the time.
John had 3. Y'all had 3 rappers.
3-man outfielders. We had
it was
It was Tyreek, Gary, and Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
We wasn't doing that 4-man outfield. Nah,
I used to hate that 4-man.
You know, we double play. Oh my God,
Lord Jesus!
So that's how we got introduced to softball.
Okay.
Don took us into the housing league, and then Tyreek could take over for the story. Then they was playing in the Kingston Park. Now we getting into how Kingston Park now.
What team was y'all with when y'all?
When we first got there, Desperados. So when he was there, Coach was there the first. We didn't play the first year. My uncle did. SP. He played with them the first.
Who's a member on Evo? We'll get to that part. Who tagged up? But we'll get to all of that. We'll get to. We almost there.
I guess Don spoke to Frank or whoever, and he was like, "I'm gonna come and get some guys for next year." Mm-hmm. So the following year, he came to the block. He was riding a bike. He came on the block. Me, Mel, and Mike White. We outside. He's like, "Yo, I want y'all to come play with me in this league." We didn't care. We was like, all right, well, whatever. No, it's Coach Don.
Who's homeboy that used to play third base, the Puerto Rican kid. He used to sit there hitting bombs for y'all.
Desperados? Big kid, right?
He lived over here on Myrtle Ave. You don't remember the Spanish kid?
Was a big kid that was.
He's talking about Anthony.
But he came later.
He came later.
He
came the following. No, he came the following year.
Yeah.
He came the following year after me and John. I mean,
but he was all or nothing though. But if he got it though, woo. Yeah.
So Don came and got me, Mike, and Mel. So we came down, and this is how everything started.
This is how we got into the Kingston Park League now. So I guess Al's gonna have some questions starting there. So now you see our journey. We met on the baseball diamond. Our coach is here with the story that he gave. Don had us in everything just to keep us out the street. Football, basketball, and then he introduced us to slow pitch softball for the Housing League, Albany Projects. We represented them, won a lot of championships for them. And all our banquets for baseball was actually inside Albany Projects. Remember they had the little banquet hall? So that's where we had all our awards. So it was only right to represent the people where we.
You know something. I played Little League in the youth league there, and that's where that used to be our clubhouse.
Yeah.
Back in 1970.
So what was that? 96. Now that's when we came into Kingston. 96. Because I was in high school. I think
that's when I first met you. I first met you when you first came to Kingston.
Yeah, 96.
So in 96, me, Tyreek, and Mike went to the Desperados, and we was the 3-man outfield.
16, 15, and 14.
I was 14, and we call ourselves Destiny Childs. No homo.
That was dumb. That was
us.
Destiny.
Okay.
Well, you want to put that out there? Okay, listen. Which one of y'all was Beyonce?
Tyreek, my man, he was Michelle. My man Mike White was the Kelly Rowland. He was Michelle. 2 left feet Michelle. So that's how we got it. Now we at the Kingston Park League, and then the following
year we
Donnie
no we don't
No,
we
we
don't
came in lately.
no they
we
came
still
in
playing
late.
baseball.
We brought Ray J.
You was playing with us too.
Yeah, I was in Brownsville. I was
Yeah.
Okay, so
We brought Ray J in the following year.
so now y'all come. So now y'all come to Kingston.
yes.
First group. For the first group until you guys come. What did y'all think of the league? And what year was this?
96. Oh, that was Major League. So
Yeah, we was like, we never seen nothing like this.
nothing like it. Oh, and whatever you want to call it, and one, the major,
Softball.
that was softball at a different level.
It was.
Shout out to the guys out there. Y'all guys were beasts.
We knew when Desperados was on the
6
schedule.
o'clock
We
games.
knew it was 2 games guaranteed to win.
Yes.
We, being honest, we did.
No, it's
It
true.
was guaranteed. But we were all some teams. I remember, we were only going to bring 9 because guys would be playing in St. John's, or guys would be in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we was playing, and then every time we played Desperados, game was always at 9 in the morning.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yeah.
It's always 9 in the morning, and then guys are hanging out already the night before. 9 in the morning game. Oh no, we'll see y'all later, man. We'll catch y'all there. Man. So now y'all got there. Y'all said it was a different type of experience when y'all first got there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's
I've
up.
never seen nothing like it.
Nothing like it. Those dudes out
What teams
there.
was in the league when y'all first jumped? If y'all can remember.
Mo Better,
Better,
TNF,
Playboy,
Playboys,
Posse.
Posse, the Cardinals. The Cardinals was a team like us.
Yeah, USA.
USA.
Now I always thought the Cardinals, and that's why y'all had.
We had it was not beef.
But yeah,
but
it was mixed
we
together.
knew we could beat them, and they knew they could beat us.
Okay.
So that was our championship
Okay.
for both teams.
So maybe I'm going a little bit too far, but
And I think the family was in there.
The
Nah,
family came.
the
Y'all
family wasn't in
came
there
in there for like a year. Y'all was in there for like a year or two.
Oh,
That
yeah,
came
the Bucks.
later.
The
That came
Bucks.
later.
The
Bucks.
The Bucks was there. The Bucks. Chuck was on the Bucks.
Right.
That was the first
Bucks.
time that I
Dyke was
seen.
on
I mean, rest in
Right,
peace,
Dyke was on the Bucks.
Glenn, Marv, and Derek in the outfield at the same time.
Mm. Yeah.
And I wasn't even allowed to play in Kingston yet. Mr. T wouldn't let me play in Kingston yet. He took me to fast pitch first before I came to Kingston. But that was the first time all 3 of them went outfield together. And I was sitting on the bench just watching. Because I wanted to see who was going to make an error first. You know what I'm saying? But Marv was chasing everything down. Glenn was up on that gate. The
He
was
was
in
in
the
left
left.
field. I remember that.
And it was crazy. And I'm sitting like, wow. That's crazy.
That's once in a lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
That's
crazy.
just-
It's history. I'm telling you. That's
We
how
actually
far
did that
back.
in the Panamanian League in St. John's. Me, Marvin, and my brother Kevin.
Yep.
Okay.
We was all in there. That's Aaron and Akeem Fox.
Okay.
Kevin. Yep, he was the center fielder. I was the left fielder, and Marvin was in right, or Marvin was in center. I know all 3 was in the game at the same time. It didn't matter.
Right.
I let him lead. He the lead. I let him and my brother Kevin. Those were the guys. So I was the young buck.
That's crazy.
And the Black
See
Sox.
Vita
too.
watching. What up, Vita?
The Black Sox was in there. The Black Sox just
Crazy.
we were like, I don't know if we was their farm team. They had practice one day. We at the other end. They done hit everything out the park. It was like, here y'all go, just throwing us their regular.
Jacob, what up, Jacob?
Yeah, the Black Sox, they just beat us down every time.
So now, Desperados.
Mhm.
What's next?
Bad
Because
Bad
okay,
Boys.
Bad
Don't
Boys.
take us
Not
to
even
talk
Bad
about
that.
that.
Not even that. Before Bad Boys, we had. This is when we get Donnie and Mike Ashby. We're like, you know what?
Full time. That's when we get shit.
Right. You know what? We starting to get good. We thinking, we starting to get good.
Mhm.
So let's get Mike and we got Ray J. Let's go get Mike and Donnie.
Mhm.
Let's make it complete. Now this year so happened, I don't remember what year it was, but now we up there now like we got a 6 o'clock game. Never had a 6 o'clock game ever.
Prime time.
We playing more better. Now this
That's
year,
something.
this is the year we're
6
beating
o'clock
teams
prime
that we
time.
shouldn't be beating. We are hanging in with all these teams that we shouldn't be beating.
This is Desperados.
Desperados.
Mm.
And now we got confidence. We didn't have it other years. Now this is the year. We had Donnie at shortstop. Donnie couldn't hit, but you hit that ball anywhere in the vicinity, You might as well just go back to your
Pac-Man.
fucking. You might as
Pac-Man.
well just go back to the dugout. You had me, Mel, and Mike in the outfield, still patrolling the outfield. Mike Ashby was playing third base, actually.
Yes, yeah. It was me and Mike on the side. We couldn't get anything through there. Yo.
Yep.
So now we're like, you know what? Now this 6 o'clock game where, you know, Mo Better is like, you know what? Let's just go out here, handle our business, and beat these guys. No, it didn't go that way that first game. That first game was a 3-2 game.
That's
because of our defense.
I mean, you had good pitching too.
Ray J.
You had good pitching.
Ray J pitching.
Sometimes good pitching, not that good hitting all day.
And
all time.
They couldn't believe it. I seen Chris go in the corner. He got mad at his guys, cursing them out. Like, how are y'all losing to these guys? At this point, I think this is where we knew we belonged. After we beat Mo Better, we wasn't supposed to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. The next game, they proceeded to whoop our ass.
The next game, they brought us back to reality. I mean, it was a no contest. I mean, so in that league, just as fast as you on a high, they just let us know, nah, listen, now you're gonna get the real deal. And I think, they beat the brakes off us.
So now you're done. Y'all, what happens after that? How did y'all?
Bad Boys come into play.
How many years we did Bad Boys though? 1 or 2?
2.
We did 2 years.
Yeah, we did like
2 years.
And
2 years of Bad Boys. Then
started to branch off.
Everybody started to branch
and
off.
learn from other players in different
Well,
teams.
they took y'all. You went to all the good.
Donnie went to Brooklyn.
Well, they did what most teams do. They pick what they
got
want.
recruited. They said,
They-
we want this.
It's time.
Before that, it's like I got recruited to go to TNF, but I never left because I'm like, I'm not leaving my guy. Now the year I should have went to TNF was the year they won the championship.
01, right?
That's with Speedy.
Mm-hmm.
With Speedy, Butch.
That's the old Brooklyn
Hit
team. Matter of fact,
man.
Brooklyn wasn't even in the league that year.
I should have went.
TNF.
They literally
TNF beat
came.
the Black Sox.
Reynolds and Panama came to me and was like, "Yo, we want you to play with us."
TNF was up and coming. Once I seen them get all them guys, I said, TNF loaded.
Yeah, they loaded up with all the Brooklyn guys.
Yeah,
But my feeling was I didn't know nobody over there. I don't want to leave my guys. In hindsight, if I could go back in time, I'd have left y'all.
She said I left y'all.
I mean, some of us, had no choice. Like you went on to
Mel,
Mike went
after
to Regulators, right? I went to Regulators.
Right.
I went over to Brooklyn, and I think we all learned from all those different teams.
But was that your
And-
choice? When you went to Brooklyn, was that your choice?
Well, Dave Goldstein came to me, and
Rest in peace, Dave.
I don't think you ever say no to Dave Goldstein if he wants you.
Yeah,
You just go and you learn. And Butch Nelson also got in my ear too, and trying to learn from him. He's a legend of playing shortstop. You go follow him and you learn.
Yeah.
So
Man.
that's what
Yeah,
happened.
rest in peace, Frank. Yep.
It's the
Yeah,
Goldstein.
rest in peace, Frank.
Goldstein. Yeah.
But I think after that, Mel goes.
Frank, Dan.
Yeah. Mel goes to AL. Donnie goes to Brooklyn.
Nah, that's early.
You went
It's
to
too
AL,
early.
went to
No.
He didn't.
I was still with
No,
Bad
Mel was
Boy.
still a bad boy. We were still
They left.
Donnie and Mike. Right.
The
Donnie
original three stayed. The original three that
stayed.
started
We stayed.
in the softball league, we stayed with the Bad Boys. Everybody, they left.
Right. Because
And
they
then
had
after
their
that-
little. Donnie had his little falling out with
Frank.
with Frank. This is like the funniest shit I ever seen in my life. Donnie goes to Mel. He's like, "Yo, I'm about to hit a home run."
Because he's batting last.
He's like,
And I'm batting leadoff, so we at the bottom of the lineup. Donnie's leading off the end, and I'm next. He's like, "Yo, Mel, I'm about to hit a home run, and I'm out of here." I'm like, Donnie, please, you hit a home run here. You wish. Go play defense.
But I can't hit. Go
play defense.
So I'm calling my own shot on deck.
Yo, he goes in the batter's box, hits the shit out the ball. He touches first, goes to second. The jersey is starting to come off as he's touching second. Next thing you know, he touches home, and he was a man of his word. He quit right there. That was it for him.
then Mike. Right after that, Mike was like,
my jersey.
Because Jacob said you stole his number, Mel.
I definitely. Well, I'm not gonna say I stole it. I felt that he gave it to me. I don't know. Maybe I did steal it, but I mean, who steals from Jacob and lives to talk about it, right? So
That's a good one.
You know,
Oh, man.
I don't know. Maybe he was afraid of my mom. I don't know, but yeah, he definitely gave up that number. But the number he wore that year, Rasheed Wallace 36, fit him.
Oh,
the leader in technicals and the leader in ejected. Yeah, 36 was his number. It fit him that season.
Put Cuckoo back in the clock. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
Yeah, but Donnie hit the home run as he ran in third. You know, he's like, "Fuck you, Frank." And then here go Mike Ashby. Yeah, fuck you too, Frankie. And then they just walk out the park.
Both left.
We sitting there, me, Mike, and Mel sitting there watching like, "Yo, what the hell?"
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But that following year, you know, me, Mike, and Mel, we still with Desperados. Donnie's with Brooklyn now. Mike Ashby, he was with Regulators.
Okay.
And Donnie and Mike is showing off in the league. And listen, I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. Oh, I was so jealous.
Mike was making crazy plays.
Yes,
it was
and,
unbelievable.
But they moved him to the outfield.
Here's the thing:
Snatching
you and Mike were making plays and playing good, but y'all was doing it in the limelight.
Here it is. Prime time.
Here it is. I'm doing the same thing, and hey,
ain't nobody
watching. Nobody watching the channel. Nobody watching.
They say they're like, all right,
whatever you doing, you do it.
You get there one day.
We like Channel 3 with the fuzz, and they on Channel 4.
No, they on ESPN.
So, Donnie, what was it like?
They on Sports Machine at night.
You with Brooklyn. And we know Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was Brooklyn that
They
turned me
win a lot.
around.
They
I
Jacob
couldn't
said
hit
he
the
never
ball.
got that
I didn't know
check.
how to hit. So Dave Goldstein, he's telling me how to, because Kingston Park, the right field is right there, the gate's right there. And I had some pop, but I ain't have none. But he said, you need to do this and start hitting that ball off the gate. And lo and behold, I started hitting the ball, and I started getting stronger. And I started hitting the ball over that gate. And it shit just started happening.
I was already doing that.
And back then, the home run was shorter.
Shorter because they didn't have the extended.
Yeah, they didn't have that extended.
Yeah,
so
what was
I just
short?
started popping home runs.
Then they added the other part to the game.
Oh, and Kingston.
Yeah.
Oh no, that came way
And I don't think
later.
was that second
Was
pole
that late
a home
2000s
run at that
or
time.
something?
The second pole.
It was the second pole was that home run, but it was reachable. So I just
I
started
remember
popping
you
it
sitting
over
there
there.
like it was nothing.
It wasn't a problem.
Donnie just took
It was just a teacher. Goldstein just taught me how to hit the ball the other way. I didn't know how to do that. Everything was pull.
That's the key. Once you start learning how to hit the other way, when you go play out in Queens and you go to them parks that's wide open, that's how you learn how to hit.
Yeah.
Because you steady sitting there looking at a fence. Now you trying to reach that fence every time.
Yeah.
I hate Jacob.
You know.
Yeah, you know how to play the park that you playing in at that moment.
Yeah.
But you also playing with guys like Butch,
Rich Nelson. I had
I'm trying to think who else was on that Brooklyn team.
man, I had Milk on that team.
Milk
was probably one of the reasons why I played softball. Because I used to play
Boys high.
stickball against him in my backyard. And he used to beat the brakes off me back then playing
My
stickball.
man.
We all went to the high too, by the way.
Yeah, all of us.
Shout out
All of us.
Boys high. There you go.
And Milk
The legend right there.
and Georgie went to the high too. I don't know if y'all remember Georgie. Shout out to Georgie too. He used to play with Mo Better. So yeah, that's how that was. Those guys just taught me how to play softball versus baseball. So things got better, and just watching Mel on the side like, yo, no, you playing today? He's like, nah, I'm not playing. He went over to 85.
So that's later. We
I'm not playing.
jumping.
But Mel got his shot and he started to show off. So we all started coming together, and then one year, me, Mike, and Mel, we just started talking about bringing our own team together one day. And
Homie, they said you look like security.
That's what I get paid for.
Okay. Jacob, he said that's what you get paid for, Jacob.
That's baby Jacob.
We got our Broad Street bully too now. Every team got their Broad Street bully. We got ours.
We got two.
Everybody learning from you, Jacob.
That's damn
I ain't
shame.
learning from them.
So now, where does the evolution come in at? How did that conversation come about?
I wasn't there, so
yeah,
would
I
have to
think
be
it was
with
us
you.
three at St. John's.
Yeah.
It was me, Mike, and Mel.
At that point, Penny and Mike is probably now one of the elites in the young center fielders. I mean, everybody knows his glove and his arm. By that time, Donnie is mastering everything Butch Nelson and Dave Goldstein taught him over there. And then I had just finally won a championship with AL, and the recognition was there. It was time. The three of us decided, listen, man, like we we learned what we had to learn. Now it's time to put it all back together. And then from there it was like, all right, well, what we gonna do? What we gonna call it? What's gonna be our team colors? And I think you said evolution.
Evolution. Yeah.
And then Panamanian Mike wanted the Panama colors, and I was like, yeah, everybody does that.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, nah, we're gonna use the USC Trojan colors.
That's my fault.
And because I remember from the old team I was on, AL, who used the baby blue and yellow. If they didn't use that color, it was going to be USC Trojan colors. So, in my own way, I wanted to pay homage to the guys that showed me the softball in a different light. So that's why I chose those colors for Evolution, to pay homage to the another level guys that showed me the game in a different
That's
light.
basically USC colors.
Yeah.
For sure.
But you gotta rewind, like, because we didn't have Little Mike had came in what
Little Mike was on the
05.
Padres.
Me and Little Mike was on the Padres.
And Mike White. They
Mike
was on
White
the Padres.
was all on the Padres.
Which was Desperados who
Desperados,
changed their name to the Padres.
They got better uniforms.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
the Padres
did. Those
just-
And the Padres
uniforms.
just was
That was
nice.
Mine is hanging up in my closet.
They got better
Padres actually
uniforms.
kind of nice.
But it was funny because in the 05, I just looked at this picture. It was me, Mel,
All-Star game?
the All-Star
I
game
figured
without me, Mel, and Little Mike, and I had one with Donnie. He was on the other
On the side, he was on the bingo long side.
Mhm.
You ain't had the blue. We had the blue one.
We had the blue, Donnie had the red.
The red.
So
uh-huh.
in that game, that All-Star game, Norm looking at me and Mike, he comes to me and Little Mike's like, "Yo, next year y'all playing with me." We like, all right.
with the Cubs.
Cubs. We was like, oh, all right, whatever. Like, we now at this point, this is where now I feel my talents is being recognized now. I've never been on an elite
So
team.
it was Cubs before Evolution?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot
Oh,
because they won it in 07.
We won the championship. That
I came to
07,
the
yeah.
Cubs. I came to the Cubs
then I
in
went to
06.
Evo that next.
No.
No.
08. Donnie came over with
Yeah.
with AL, and then we won the championship to get the three of us. Donnie,
Me, Mike, and
Mike, and Mel. We won it together, and that's when we decided, yo,
Yeah,
we got to do our
that's
own
the story.
thing.
Yeah. And it's funny, like
After
those,
we won with AL,
those
After the 08 season,
then you have
it's time. It's time to do our own thing.
Okay.
with
That's
those
what-
three,
okay.
they won theirs. But on the flip side, you have me, Dio, Ray J, and Little Mike winning our
They won
first
that.
championship.
Together,
Well, me,
07.
Little Mike, and Ray J. I mean, Dio had already won championships, but that's
With the
like
Cubs.
the Cubs.
That was the year Chuck showed off. So he got
Yeah, shout out
yeah,
Chuck. Jesus
yeah.
Christ. But
Yeah, he was
He
talking.
was-
He was talking this shit last night. Yeah, you know, I
No,
was
but
that man. I said,
But
I ain't
no,
got nothing to fight.
07 Chuck was a beast,
Yes,
though.
he was.
Yeah.
Listen, it is what it is,
Yeah,
man.
I gave him his props. I told him, I said, you
MVP.
still ain't better than me. I said, you just had a better year.
He had a great year. He had a great year. So that 08 winter, that's when we decided that we was going to do our own thing.
And that winter,
Yeah, Mike, we're talking about your Cubs.
And that was the year when Kenny Kings formed their team in Kingston.
In 09.
It was a couple of teams that asked me, yo, they said, who you playing with? I said, I don't know. So when Kenny asked me, then he was so-called running the team, getting his team together. But I didn't ask him, I didn't tell him quick enough who I was going with. So he said, fuck me. So, then
wow.
he when I said, all right, I want to play with you guys, it was too late.
Uh-oh.
So by that time, I'm like, all right, I go
There
play
go
with you.
another fellow Evo dude.
Evo members in the crib.
Yo.
Marley Marl. Oh, man. Y'all come in dropping
Yeah,
Man, got somebody coming in and messing up the interview.
Yo,
You, man.
but it was crazy.
That
Like
man's house,
that
I ain't saying
whole
nothing.
09.
Right, Coach?
Mike said y'all would have never won without Chuck and Dio.
Without who?
Miles, what up, man?
He said
Yeah,
they would have
Chuck-
never won without Chuck.
Yeah, oh, no,
those are the pieces.
And Hitman.
And Speedy.
And Hitman.
And Bo.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bo.
Well, Bo was always a monster. I don't care what
Bo was
nobody
working.
says.
Cisco 7
Yeah,
you talking
Bo.
about?
07.
Oh, yeah.
Bo was
Yeah,
always a
working a lot.
monster anyway.
Sanitation, he had the
Yeah.
sanitation.
I'm gonna tell you this. I tell Mel this all the time. I said that was my first championship. So I get up. No one put me in. Bases loaded with 2 outs. I get up and hit a double. I said, "No, take me out. I don't want to play no more." I got my 2 RBIs. I'm good. He took me out the game. I'm like, I'm good. I want to bat 1,000 in the championship. I'm good. I don't play no more.
Yeah, so '08 was the year we decided.
He said Jamal is the new Albert Bell. Mike said that. All right, Mike, they're gonna find you. You better stop.
Yeah, but that 09, it was a lot of stuff like going on. Like I would argue with Donnie on text, argue with Mike during text messages. Like it was so much other stuff going on that year. You know, that was just in-house stuff, but you know, it was good for us that the stuff that we was going through that year.
So that '08 winter, once we decided that what we were going to do, we put the work in.
Yeah,
See, what a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
is,
people don't see what
we put the work in. We was in the gym all winter.
Boys and girls.
Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Tony Cherry, man.
Coach
Inside
Dougie.
Boys and Girls Gym,
Coach Dougie.
hitting ground balls,
Dougie.
20
You
feet.
can thank Donnie Harris for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Donnie
Donnie used to.
We used to get the plug.
The tournament, when we used to get ready for tournaments, Tony used to take us to Boys High.
That's what we got our little workout.
So Tony Cherry used to hit ground balls to us. Oh my God.
Tony Cherry hit rockets, not ground.
Yeah, they was rock because Alex still got the
And my
scar
cousin
to prove it.
Alex still has the scar on his leg to prove it. Oh my God. So between him and Dougie running us,
Yeah. Oh, I
And in
never
the
ran
gym.
so much in my life. I thought I did with Romaine. This was
That's,
different.
bro, that's how we used to get our exercise in. And then after that, we played basketball. We running full court.
did.
Yeah, you were doing that too.
Yo, I mean, come on, who does that, bro? Yo, and it felt good.
Yeah.
And then Chris started.
Definitely felt refreshed.
And then Chris started coming to do. Then he started doing extra stuff that we never did in our day and our life.
calisthenics, Chris Degree, yeah.
Oh my God, the
Like,
leg, the leg.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah. Nah, that's
Listen, I mean, if we wasn't in the gym, we was out in the park, and that was the thing that these young dudes don't understand, that what they miss. Nobody practice. Everybody just come to the park and just want to play ball. No, we always be out there on a Saturday, 2-3 hours practice.
Friday night.
You have Friday nights. You have Chris and them used to come out on Wednesday nights.
What's your
Shit, alley-oop bitches. Take up some food.
No,
yeah,
it's
the
the
truth. And then when the weather broke, we was outside at Kingston Park on Fridays having practice once again.
Now,
Under the lights.
we got our first taste of
Yeah, he got food.
our first taste of being Evo as a whole. Dio wasn't with us yet. Now, Dougie had put us in a early bird tournament on 125th and
Oh, Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah.
Nah, do it.
no, not
Cleveland Atlantic.
Cleveland
Oh, right
Atlantic.
there. The field right there.
Oh, yeah. I
In the
remember.
back of the school.
I remember.
Yeah.
So, we were doing great. Now, one night, this story.
Hold on. Before you do
Go
that,
ahead.
how did y'all handpick the players? Because that's the important part.
For Evo?
Yeah, we already had.
I mean,
Because-
it was the core.
Because Dougie got in there somewhere. That wasn't just my choice. So it had to be some type of committee where y'all put the players together. Then y'all said who y'all wanted to coach.
I think Mike chose the
Mike
coach.
chose the coach. We also had Al Watson too for a little minute.
Okay.
We had Al Watson in there too. Yeah, we had
Can't
Al
forget
Watson
Speedy.
and Speedo.
We had Salon.
Mike actually chose Dougie to help out. Tony Cherry helped out, and Chris Legree helped out with all that.
Well, and then Dougie went to start umpiring. He
Yeah,
said
yeah.
he couldn't commit
He
his
couldn't
time.
do no
And
more.
then he left us with Chris
Chris
Legree.
Legree.
Yeah,
Okay. And this is all first year.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Dougie's in y'all in early
We're
bird.
in the early bird
With Dougie as
with
the
Dougie as the manager.
And don't forget, little Chris was on the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get to that.
He wasn't there for the early bird, though.
Right.
He came.
He
Chris
came.
Legree came to take over. Then he came. So he missed the.
That's
gym
what I.
in the
That's
early
what I
bird.
remembered. I remember little Chris was there, and 'cause he was playing first. It was a little.
Yeah. We'll get to that. But we playing in this tournament, Dougie. I think at the time, and we was like already 3-0. So now they wanted to get it over. So now we're like, all right, it's a playoff.
Everything one.
Everything was one day. So now
Me and
we
Alex's
go
birthday.
out the night before.
Me and Alex's birthday.
Alex and Mel. Now we get to the park. We don't know where the hell Mel at,
There's no
and we don't know where Mike White is.
we got no
Mike
players.
White and Mel is missing.
This
We
is a playoff game.
It's a playoff
Yes.
game. We're calling. I'm calling Mel phone.
And this is for money because we needed this
Yes.
money.
Right.
This money.
That leaves that bread. Oh, okay.
We needed this money for the
That leaves
league.
that bread.
Yes.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, yo, we banking on this
I'm
right here.
calling Mel. Mel not picking up. I'm like, where the hell did this nigga go? I'm calling Mike White. My wife. I said, you know what? I called Mike White mom. She gave me his grandmother number. I called. This is the funniest shit. So I called my grandmother. She's like, Michael ain't here asleep. So she's on speakerphone. She's like, Michael, get your ass up. So he gets up. We finally get in contact with Mel. He wakes up from wherever the hell he was at. And so we all met. So we didn't play the first game. We would have forfeited. The other team didn't have enough players either.
So y'all went to the diner.
So we went to a diner on Atlantic and
Refresh ourselves.
yeah, to chill. So Mike finally met us at the diner. Mel met us at the field. Now Dougie is pissed off at this point.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the leader. I'm supposed
So
to be the leader.
we get back to the park.
I know
Dougie is
Dougie.
like, you guys. Now he's pointing at Mel and Donnie basically, but more so
He's pointing
Mel.
at me.
More so Mel because Mel literally just walking in the park. Mike is on the side throwing up his eggs.
But you know, what I learned from Dougie, to be honest, at that moment was if you're going to be a leader of this team, you got to lead by example. So that conversation me and him had was necessary because
You did leave by example. You went out to hang out.
but what I realized is, yes, we're all men, and if you choose to do what you do, I made a commitment to not only be a part of Evo, but to be one of the leaders. And if you're gonna do that, you gotta lead better than this. So shout out to him for definitely pointing that out to me because no telling what would happen in the season.
Yeah, so we won that first game. Now we on to the championship. We won the first game. We lost the second game. The other team is tired at this point. We're tired because we all played the same amount of games. So Mel was like, "Yo, we could just split this money and go home." Mel gave Mel gives the best inspirational speeches
We
I
didn't
ever.
have all the money either. Al Watson
Put
up some bread.
Make sure you put that out.
Oh yeah. I watched him put up.
Al Watson helped us out to play that final game.
Another game.
We didn't have no umpire
We
fee.
had no more umpire fee because we spent it
They
all.
spent it all on breakfast. And then we lost game 2. They put us in the extra game. So I just
Al didn't play, but he was just there.
So I gave the team the option, fellas. Listen, what y'all want to do. Al Watson already told me what he was going to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't want the team to know yet that he was going to pay. Mm-hmm. I wanted them to decide what type of team they was going to be. They were going to quit or they were going to fight to the end.
Right.
And they chose to play ball, and we won
the ass. Eli hit a bomb onto the top of the school. On the school.
Wasn't Jake Adams umpiring?
Yes.
I was out there.
Yes. Jake Adams
I
was
remember
definitely
that.
umpiring.
I was out there watching that. Yep.
We was tired as hell, but we won that game. We mercy ruled them niggas. We was like, all right, everybody went. I know everybody went home and went to fucking sleep because I wasn't dropping. I'm like, yo, who going which way? Because I'm going. I live down the block.
Wow.
I live down the block. I said, yo, Mel, drop SP off because I'm not going to Brownsville. I live right here. I'm not going nowhere.
That's great. So now you're done with that.
We're done with that.
Kingston.
Kingston. So now, they getting a roster together. We had Keeble on the roster. We had a couple.
I heard there's a Keeble story.
Yeah. We had Keeble on the roster. We had David.
I mess with it's funny because I mess with him every time.
We had David Pena on the roster. We had all these guys on the roster.
Al on the roster.
So Al was on the roster.
I played.
Yeah, you did.
I showed up for my shirt and hat. That was it. I want to say I did not want to play.
You did say that.
I told little Mike,
You told Mike, yeah.
I do not want to play. Mm-hmm. Do not put me in. Let these young boys do what they do. I'm just here to help. No, I'm in the game. I'm back and forth. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? I don't want to play.
That's right, you Evo too, man.
I didn't want to play because I know what it feels like to be that young kid.
And it's crazy because that game, they took Chris took Mike White out of left.
Yeah.
Ray J didn't pitch, so Ray J was mad.
Speedy take pitch.
Ray J quit that day. I remember that shit. And me and Mike White, I'm just sitting on. This is the second game of the season. because we lost to Kenny Kings the first week. We got the Cubs the second week. So that was that week.
Yeah,
So-
that was crazy.
So we already 0-4
Yeah,
now.
we started off poorly, to say the least. But
Then
we
the
started jumping.
and
Yeah,
I think they did some bullshit with the schedule. They gave us the gauntlet. We had Kenny Kings, then on the Cubs, and then AL the following week. We like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
but we was trying too hard to prove, and that's when I said, "Yo, just set an example." Said, remember, we was sitting there. Everybody want to bang, bang, bang. I said, "We got to bang that out the park, yo. Let's do this." I wasn't hitting no home runs. I was sitting there doing this for you, and I said, "Yo, follow the lead," and Mel caught on and started doing this
It's
thing.
crazy. After the AL game, I think we split with AL. But I think Mel said Chris Howard came up to him and was like, "Yo, you sure you want to do this?" Mel was like, I don't even know no more.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. We 1-5.
And yeah, because when you think about it, I just won the championship in 08. I'm starting every game. At this time with AL, I was batting second, playing anywhere I wanted, depending on who wasn't there that week or who was late or who was hurt.
We had something to win.
Yeah. So now in 09, I'm 1-5, and I'm second guessing myself. Like, why am I doing this, man?
I never second guessed myself. That's why I was like, yo, I said, this team gonna come together and we're gonna do this.
It's crazy because I didn't play.
When
I played
talked
the
to Speedy, I said, yo, we gotta lead us. We gotta
D-Mac.
do what we gotta do. And
Shout out to D-Mac.
D-Mac never matter more.
He was another one. And once we started really showing up and started doing what we had to do, yo, I said, yo, it ain't all about home runs. I said, yo, hit the line drive base hit. When we play that defense,
The defense,
I said, guaranteed, watch us sit here and surprise these motherfuckers. Yo,
The
defense
I think we after that AL loss, we went on a 13-game winning streak.
start beating
The defense was
The
You had,
defense
you had
was
an outfield that
crazy.
probably played wide receiver as football players.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah, you had Mike, and Mike.
Yeah, Mike and Mike.
Those guys could go get it.
Yeah.
So you have that paired
That's why
up
I
with
would've
a
told him, I said,
solid
yeah, I
first
need a break.
baseman.
That's-
You throw anywhere around 8 feet around him,
Flip.
he's gonna catch it.
Flip.
Flip my
They
first
had
baseman.
Flip,
last
yeah.
time.
I was just catching.
Me and Donnie up the middle.
Middle.
Eli at third. Oh, man.
We had our team. I'm like, yo, I said, too much talent here to sit here and give up. I said, yo, just play.
You had a good mixture too. You had guys like you had a DO, you had a Speedy, you had a D-Mac. Those veterans, those guys that played in the league.
And then Al Watson came
Then you
on.
had
And
Cat,
Salon.
Salon.
Yeah,
The guys who they know how to win, and that's the big key when you play with those type of guys.
When Al Watson
With some-
came,
some key
Mel
role players.
moved to third.
Yeah.
Some key role players.
When Al Watson came, Mel moved to third.
Just
Because
play
Eli wasn't coming a lot.
Right.
So Mel moved to third.
Moved over to third.
So let's get to the Kiba story.
All right, so
Because
Opening day.
Opening
Say
day.
opening day.
That was opening day. You know, we got his jersey.
We ordered
sitting
the
there. We
jerseys.
ordered his jersey. And I ordered the nigga shorts, too. Because we had the shorts.
We need that money back, Kiba.
I ain't getting that, so it's okay. It's been 12 years. So he come in the park, Mel like, oh, there go Kiba. Mike put him in the lineup. Mike like, all right, I'm going to put Kiba at second. Now, anybody who's seen You Got Served, you just know what Sonny did. Kiba goes to the right. We're inside the basketball court working out. Kiba goes to Kenny Kings. We like, yo, what the hell? We got you an alarm. We got your jersey and everything. He don't say nothing. We like, yo, you gotta
So
be
wait a
shit.
minute. Y'all had Kiba
We had Kiba on
playing
the
the
line
whole
the
time,
whole time, starting and everything.
and then he showed up to the park the day y'all playing, and he go to the other
Kenny
side.
King.
You ever seen You Got Served?
That's Sonny.
He did the Sunny.
Yo, Kiba,
So
I'm
we
gonna
called
slap you
him,
when
we
I see
started
you.
calling him Sonny.
You
Now, if you
know
see
we don't
You
play
Got
the
Served,
games.
you know who won at the end of that movie. That's all I got to say. Sonny didn't win.
We'll get to that. So now, y'all doing your thing. Y'all on a 13-game winning streak. Give me that first round, second round, then y'all get to the championship. What's the playoffs like? We got to play first round.
First round, oh my Jesus Christ.
Okay, so first thing first. Evo whole thing was, if we can stay away from the Cubs, we might be all right. The Cubs just gave us the beating the Black Sox used to give us.
You know what? That's not even getting to that yet. How about like every month, it was a different player holding the team down. Like 1 month it was Mel just going crazy. You had another month Donnie was going crazy, Lil Mike, or me.
That's how it was. Yeah. That was
Let me tell you,
us coming
I got some
together.
African
Everybody
in
was
me,
doing his
and
part.
the game
You know what I'm
changed.
saying?
I got some African in me, game changed.
See what your boy Crime said? These young cats had a winning attitude before adding any vet. It was destined.
Destiny Child. I told you when I called the three.
Yeah. We got Beyonce, we got all of
Listen,
Yeah.
I just knew we was destined.
Crime, well said, Crime.
And Crumb was definitely always a big supporter. for the Dolphins, man.
Always.
You know, not too many
He was watching.
not too many
Yo,
veterans would give you the love.
That
But Crumb
dude, Gary,
definitely is
yo,
that dude.
He
Let me
watched
tell
us
you
play
something.
Little League baseball too.
Gary played hardball with me, Marvin, Butch. Yo, this dude used to hit bombs.
I heard.
Son. All right, so don't sleep. Don't think because he had the muscles that he was no muscle bound
he hit
dude.
bombs,
Gary
he
hit
smoked
bomb. He smoked weed. He do what he got to do. But I'm just saying.
Well, we're going to edit that version, Crime.
But he definitely played.
But during the season, let's not even jump into the playoffs. During the season, we had our squabbles, with Chris.
Yeah.
Things didn't go how we wanted it to go. He wanted it on the way he wanted. But you got to realize we were a different group.
But you got to understand, he's a coach. So all he's doing is trying to be a coach. And you know what? Some people they're gonna buy into it, or you're not gonna buy into it.
Right.
And that's what that was all about. There's no beef.
There wasn't no beef.
You understand?
Now,
I don't want people to sit there and think that there was a beef. It was just that Chris was being Chris because that's how Chris was more of a militant coach.
Right.
So he tried to bring it over here to Evo. So you're gonna buy in or you're not. That's what people gotta understand.
And the times was different.
You
You
know
gotta
what I'm
remember
saying,
the guys that he coached then. You guys are younger. Y'all not really listening like that. Y'all listening, but you're really like, yo, we want to be us too. We want to be us.
No,
That's the difference. He had a bunch of veterans already.
And Chris
Young
LeBron
veterans.
team that he had, they were real athletes.
Oh yeah,
A lot of our guys were
teams was crazy.
just baseball players, and they played right field, left field. That's
That's it.
They you only had maybe besides me. I think I probably was the only guy that season that just played what we needed as far as infield, outfield. We didn't really have that when he was used to with Mo Better. So I think that's what was the difference. That he didn't have that guy that could come in and out.
He brought our fastest player. He brought our fastest player to come play first base.
But because that's what he can do with Mo Better. But
He just trying to
the concepts that he gave
Right,
us,
like you said, see that was key.
the concepts that he gave us,
We
we
kept.
kept. I'm not going to give out the secret, you know what I mean? But a lot of our base running techniques
We kept.
came from him. Without him, we don't run the bases as well as we do. So even though it didn't work out with him actually finished at the finish line, but don't get it twisted. He was there at that championship game. So there was no hate. It was a relationship that didn't work, but we kept everything core that he gave us. We kept. So let's get that out there. Everything he gave us right here mentally, we might not have used his X and O's, but we used that mental part of the game that he gave us. Less than 1 out. This is what we do on the big
and
path.
learned a lot from him.
Yes.
Good way to
Now,
play that up. It's good.
With me, like my first interview that I had, it was some things that they said I disrespected his son. It wasn't no disrespect towards his son. My thing was I never disrespected his son. I said your son was a good player. I said, but him being left-handed and batting 2 for 22 in Kingston Park, that's a no-go.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
But
I
he's
said
also-
you took out our left fielder to put your son in. Mike White was our starting left fielder.
Yeah, but I understand what he's doing. He's giving somebody else a chance. Listen,
Right,
somebody got to
right.
come out.
Exactly.
If you don't take somebody out, nobody else will get a chance.
Right.
So somebody got to come out. So I understand
right.
all
That's
that.
all it was.
It wasn't.
I'm saying I've never
The
disrespected
numbers.
his
The
son.
numbers. He was just doing it.
Remember,
for-
trying to be
But you also look at why he took out. I'm trying to say Mike White. You said he took out, right?
Yeah.
Mike White's lefty.
No, right hand.
Right-handed, but he batted
He
like
batted lefty.
But in Chris' mind, I'd rather have that lefty going out of right.
Definitely. Small ball.
That's how he thinks. Like,
Right.
I'd rather get
But
the
wasn't
single
Mike
or
bad
double.
left-handed?
Back was bad, but now you got to think about it. I went home and I did the books every weekend, so I know what everybody on the team is doing. So when I say 2 for 22, this is what I'm looking at. I'm like, he's left-handed in Kingston Park going 2 for 20. Even Flip, we started DHing for Flip because Flip is left-handed and he wasn't hitting.
Yeah, Flip was my man, but
So you're not.
He couldn't hit.
It was never no disrespect.
He had to play for his
he couldn't get
It
the
was
ball
never
out
no
the park.
disrespect
I'm like,
towards his
yo,
son
yo, left
or whatever. I'm going by the number now. This is the Dawn Hayes in me now. The statistics. This is 2 for 22. You can't do that. In Kingston Park.
But in that, I've seen it numerous times in that part. It's not about how you that the numbers don't matter. I'm gonna use with my mindset. If I get him up, if he gets into that gate or a single,
Right.
we good.
We
It's not
good,
about
yeah.
the numbers
I feel you.
because you can't use analytics in the game when it comes to where I know he hits into that gate. He's lefty. Salam used to murder that side of the gate every time. If you was a lefty, it was one game, if I'm not mistaken, old school, young guns. I think 1-7 was all lefties.
Yeah, 1-7 or 1-9.
So that's the mentality when you're playing in a smaller park. So that's what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's a short right left field, he gonna load up with all righties that's gonna bang out the box like that. You made a comment about the lineup, right? I remember playing with Mo Better. Chris always said, because he had me batting fourth one game. Now, mind you, Dio batting leadoff. You had Jake Adams. You don't even matter after that. And I'm like, why you got me going fourth? He said, how many times you gonna bat fourth?
Once.
You only bat fourth once.
One time.
And you don't think about it, but you're like,
And that's
you're
only if
gonna
they
come
get
up
to
and
you
be the
in
leadoff
And that's
eventually.
only if they get to you in
And
the
if
first
they-
inning.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. So now there's no such thing as a leadoff hitter. That's what he was saying.
That's what it was.
And I was like, never thought about that.
Your spot in the lineup is after that guy. That's your spot
That's
in
it.
the
Yo,
lineup.
that's you just in the lineup.
You have to hit.
Yo, when I was playing with Mo Better, I was batting ninth. With those guys. So you think you're trying to tell me that I couldn't bat first, second, third, or fourth in that lineup? I'm like, come on. And you know what? I always sit there and say, no, you bat me ninth.
Crime, you're 100% right, Crime.
So you know when I come up, I'm gonna be a threat to God.
Yeah.
I want you to sit there and throw a little nice. Oh, he batting ninth. Come on, man. You serious? Think about it.
But so after that, we get into this little argument that we have. Chris stole little Mike at first base, and it was that.
It's over.
Yeah,
It's
we-
over,
we-
right?
we
Yeah.
just said we did that part already. So we get into the playoffs, and we just thinking one thing: stay away from who? Stay away from
Mike
the
was laughing
Cubs.
about that when you said that.
Cubs
Stay away from the Cubs.
Cubs was on it.
They had Reese. They had all the
Listen,
Another lefty.
listen,
That ball he hit against Brady in that last game is still going.
listen. When everything comes out, we're the 4 seed. We're like, okay, who's the 1 AL? Okay, 2 seed Cubs. So we don't got to see them at all. Let
Third
them-
seed was the
Kenny Kings. And we was 4. Takeover was 5.
Takeover was 5. Takeover was basically the Cardinals. They just changed their name.
Oh, okay.
So now we all right, we played Takeover in the first round. We was confident. We was feeling confident, but for whatever reason, rumor had it that Takeover was going to
They're
take us
supposed
over.
to sweep us.
It was going to sweep us. All I can tell you, Roberto Duran.
No mas.
No mas. We was up by how much?
40 runs.
And they was like, they want to keep playing. I'm like, guys, like I said, I told my team, you know what, guys? Go ahead. Let it loose.
Wow.
And, yeah, I think we beat them by 40-something.
40. It's basketball game?
Listen.
Everybody
We
was
scored 40-something runs.
In one game?
Yes.
In one game?
Yes.
one game.
Yes.
That's what I said.
we did that.
Basketball game?
Remember,
Let's
remember now.
First round.
We up 27.
I know I'm getting over because I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh no, it happened.
I think we beat them 46-2, 3 or something like that.
Yeah, it was. Remember in the playoff, there's no.
We wanted
There's no.
run.
No,
we
we was trying to tell them, listen, fellas, let's go into game 2.
Dre was like, "Nah, we paid our money. We gonna keep playing." Mel said, carry on. Mel took himself out. Donnie was out the game at one point. I came out the game. It was
So now we get past takeover, and we got our eyes set on the Big Brother team, AL, and the man of the house, he was on that team.
Unfortunately.
So we're thinking to ourselves, listen,
Probably
man.
ain't do that anyway.
Nah, that's because Mel called me before the season started to ask me to play. And I was in the hospital. I just had the major knee surgery. And I wasn't going to play.
So we get to the AL series.
Well, you supposed to play with
He was supposed to
Evo?
play with
Yeah.
Evo.
But you wouldn't play with AL?
Yeah, we didn't have no more room.
Well, at that Jamal joined them late because remember, like
Yeah,
I said,
he
he had
joined
knee
them
surgery, so I guess
Okay.
he was
came
using
later,
that for
yeah.
like a rehab purposes, but they really needed him. But he was using that for like a rehab purpose. So now we get to
loaded.
Yeah, they was loaded.
AL was good. Yeah, Bush Nelson.
We had everybody.
Yeah, they was good.
Niggas old as shit on the field. So game 3.
They said everybody. They didn't say everybody was breaking
crazy.
down.
Really
They said
So
breaking
game one,
Game one,
I gave my normal.
not even that. Remember, before that, we was like, damn, we ain't gonna have Little Mike. Little Mike was like, he's not gonna be here. We like, fuck me. This motherfucker come walking up the fucking ramp. Mel ran to
I
him.
ran to him. Came up, picked him up out the air. No homo.
I was with my duck that day.
Because you gotta understand, man. Little Mike in that park was special. He was a lefty with speed. Hit it off the gate, and he will probably score. And as a number two batter, with him hitting stand up doubles and triples,
And you done made the
like, so now
That ball go one way.
we talked about it earlier. I mentioned when my coach had me batting first in baseball, how the guys after me were so relieved when I got on base because they made it. Now look at it paying forward. Now there's a younger guy leading off, and I'm next, and he's already standing at second or third base every time.
It's crazy.
My single scores him from anywhere. So we're already starting the game with no outs, runners on first, probably third, or first and score 1-0 with Donnie next.
And D.O.
yeah.
So once we got to the AL series, and we had Little Mike, of course, we realized that, listen, man, we could really do this, man. If we just got to play our game. Don't let them get us into those shoving match contests. They going to talk. We just got to stay ourselves. And then one by one, they started dropping down. Artie got hurt. Magic got hurt. Butch got hurt. Jamal
got hurt.
And then
Dad was like Patrick Ewing out there.
And they had to go game 3. And game 3, to me, the youth just prevailed.
No, y'all was the better team. I'm just going to give it like that. Was the better
Listen, maybe we were better that day. I'll take that. I'll say
that's
that.
how it is.
And that's all it takes.
Any
given Sunday, right?
There you go.
It's that softball for you.
Everybody got ball
When
players.
that
So
ball went through Smitty out left
Well,
field,
one
I
of
knew
the
something
most.
was wrong. That was when Don Barnes was in the
Mike said who was
spray.
pitching for
No,
AL
Dawn
that
didn't-
series.
Dawn didn't
Not
pass.
yet. Not
Who
yet.
was pitching for AL that series?
Mike's
Mike
mother
said.
passed away.
Gilbert and Chris Howard.
Don that passed away.
No, Dawn didn't pass away until the week
Nah,
of the
he
championship.
Yeah.
That first week of the championship. September 9th.
So now y'all get to the championship, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, before that, you know,
He got
Mike
the pressure on us.
Mike Moms passed away.
Mike
you
Kennedy
know,
and Mike
so we
Moms.
had to, we dealing with that, and then me and Mel, we went to DL2. We had went to Maryland. When I get back from Maryland, I get a phone
Labor Day
call.
weekend.
Labor Day weekend. I get a phone call saying that Dawn is in the hospital. You know, he had an aneurysm. So literally, I got Donnie. I called Donnie up. Me and Donnie go to the hospital. They come in. They're like, me and Donnie is there at this point where they, you know, they pronounce Dawn dead.
No, that's crazy.
How was that for you, Coach? Knowing that your partner, your friend.
So you know something?
how old was Don?
At that time, he was in his 40s.
He was a young guy, right? How many kids he had?
Seven, 6 or 7.
We don't know. They just ran the field. We don't know.
Yeah.
You
Now,
know,
beautiful kids.
Yeah.
we used to talk about that quite a bit. You know, like I said, me and Don had a lot of good talks after you guys left. We talked a lot about life. He had a lot of problems with Carol. And sometimes you say, well, bro, I'm having these problems, and my kids, I don't know what to tell them. So, you know what? You gotta tell them what we tell them.
So that's
And tell them the truth about life. That's their mother. They're gonna love her, but you gotta be honest. Life is not easy for anybody. You could have $10 million and life ain't gonna be easy for you. Because you gotta always think about what people want from you, what you're trying to hold on to. All the little things that people take for granted is the things that you don't think about. Right. And when he died, I sat down and I just thought about when we used to sit in that bleachers in Lincoln Terrace. After all you guys would go home, we would laugh about certain things. I remember one time we laughed about Gary. He was like, "Why this guy can't slide? He's running there." We would sit there.
Slide.
We used to try to do all kind of things to help him slide, but he couldn't.
Gary was the Mel of our time. That's what I would say.
And when you lose somebody that young like that, you actually see that life was really short. Because now you're not thinking about your life in particular, but you're thinking about the people that he's leaving behind that really need him. How your children going to turn out without you. How your parents are going to feel that now they got the burden of replacing you. Because, we get to a certain age in life, we're not looking to take care of our grandkids. We're not thinking about, well, now instead of me coming home and relaxing, now I gotta actually go and see what Javon is doing, what Star is doing, who's doing what exactly. So it kind of made me think about. Actually, I thought about all you guys because you guys are actually like kids to us. And Don was the statistician, but I was the guy that kind of put the discipline in you guys. We talked about that too. I said, Don, because I'll never forget when he made
He was at the AL game.
Was he?
Don was at the AL game.
But I'll never forget when he decided he wanted to have the Panthers. Remember the Panthers? Yeah. And for weeks, I kept saying, there's something wrong. Something's going on with Don. Why are we not vibing like we normally do? And then finally, Miss Chambers told me, she said, well, bro, Don feels like he want to have his own team. He feels like, you guys ain't getting along. I said, that's fucking the truth. But anyway, now I got to go to you guys. And I say, I'm not going to try to keep you. I gave you guys the choice. I said, listen, Don wants this team. Whoever wants to go play for him, go ahead and play. I'm not going to be mad because actually that helped me to take you guys to another level. Because now I made you think about the game more because now we didn't have me and Don to provide things to go with. Now, when you get on...
I think John was batting second.
Well, yeah, because we had to move John up because he just wasn't hitting. And because Mel even came and said, well, Coach, I said, I'm way ahead of you. We're going to put him up there.
I was always thinking always.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing.
I remember that because we was coming from Randers Island and we had just lost.
And
we were all sitting in the back of a van.
Exactly. So I'll never forget this about you guys. We went to Randall's.
What Crime said? Yeah.
We went to Randall's and we lost that game, and you guys were so dejected. Like, I said, I'm losing you guys because you figuring you go to these places and they got these guys that's supposed to be so good.
He was the bomb
for that.
And
So as you can hear, losing Coach Dawn was tough.
big.
Yeah, I can tell. They've been in that
Even for me,
championship
because
game.
I actually got.
I think his mother enjoyed him
Oh, we gonna get
coaching.
yeah.
She
Like-
loved it.
And shout out to Mama Dawn, man. Like
At the
she
loved it.
she
I
was the
actually got-
first teen mom ever. Like that was teen mom.
Yeah.
She had the radio. Oh my God. Woo. Oh man, she was
As years passed, like me growing up, I actually got real close to Dawn. Like,
You like your son. You like
I was
your
around Dawn
kids.
all the time, and that hit me like I lost my own father. And I lost my father right
Don
before
loved
that.
you. Don loved you like one of his own kids. I mean, like I said, me and Don, we would talk about so many things. And a lot of times it didn't have nothing to do with baseball. It was just watching you guys grow. And one thing that Don really used to like was, like, when we would practice you guys and you see it would work the next day, you would be so different. You would come in with this mindset that, what I did yesterday worked. So now I'm ready to learn something new today. Like you told me one time, you said, Coach Romaine, I know I can hear you coming. You told me you could hear me coming. I said, I know at a certain time you're going to come through that gate. I said, you can tell him, you said, for some reason, I don't know what it is, Coach, but I know that when 4 o'clock come or whatever that time, when I look down there, you're coming through the gate.
Right down the stairs.
I said, because if I'm trying to teach you guys something, I got to practice what I preach. And that's what you guys picked up.
So now we're dealing with 2 deaths in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Anime and Mike Mom, and now Coach Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to go to probably the biggest stage of our softball careers now. Not only as individuals but as team evolution.
Right.
And so we go to the funeral, and for whatever reason,
Cousin Vita.
go ahead.
Vita goes up there. She goes, to talk about Dawn and how
And
she's
Kitty
scared,
King members are at the funeral at this time too.
how she's scared of Romaine. And then as she about to leave, she was like, Coach Dawn, we're gonna win this championship. But we sitting there like, are you serious?
Now, mind
Like,
you,
how do you do
she
it?
ain't taking one swing. She ain't on the field.
She ain't doing nothing, but she's sporting. She's
Yeah.
We walked out there like,
Oh my
man.
God.
She definitely done put the bullseye on y'all back there. She got the bullseye.
Why would she say
Why'd
that?
she say that?
What?
We all looked at each other like, like, Donnie, get your cousin.
Collect your cousin.
Like, why would you say? We looking at her like as she walking back. Like, why would you say that?
She comments.
Oh, she's gonna comment.
Wait, see if she comments.
She's gonna comment.
I think it just popped up. She about to.
Yeah, but the one thing I can say about
But we
her
didn't play
is-
that after the funeral. We didn't play that following week because it rained.
Okay.
So that would have been game 3, 4, and 5. We had already split.
So we got to get there. So one thing about Vita I can say is she believed in us like throughout, no matter what, how the season was going.
And homie was there.
And
Every single game.
yeah, he definitely was. How was that as a fan?
How was that as a fan, though?
But you wasn't playing?
No, not
He was a
yet.
kid.
He was young.
He was about what? He was about to play. He was probably
Like
like
16 or something like that.
15,
About 15.
about 14, 15.
I was a basketball player.
Yeah, he was a
I
star
used to
wing
come.
game.
I used to
Yeah.
come in.
But how did it feel?
His brother was one of our star
Huh?
players. Yeah, he was the wing
You
game.
went to
I went
win?
to Paul Robeson, then went to win game. Yeah.
So you was with Coach Cavalli?
Yeah, Coach Cavalli.
Oh.
But like Mel said, how did it feel like you
Cavalli
being
was a
there?
sucker.
You was there every week. Like how?
I mean, it was good because first of all, I was watching my brother play.
That's a fact.
So, he turning up, and then, like, you guys was family anyway, cousins.
That's a fact.
So, watching y'all play, and then, not for nothing, I used to chase fly balls, too.
Practice.
Practice.
He was at practice on Fridays. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
On Friday,
Did you play baseball for Wingate?
No,
I never played
never.
baseball.
Evolution introduced him to softball.
Yeah, I know.
And now he's
I was a basketball player.
Now he's the new Derek Oliver, hitting the shit where he wants to. He's a
Because I
beast.
played that one day.
Shit, he did. Yeah, Coach Cavalli is
I didn't play for him because it's a story.
He's a
There's a reason why I didn't play.
Al, you gotta watch him hit, man.
There's a reason why I didn't play.
Right, Dio? He gotta watch homie swing the
I
bat.
sit there.
Cavalli said Cavalli had made a
He don't even know
comment.
how strong he is yet. Coach.
Cavalli had made a comment
And
that
I'm lying.
You know the best thing about him is
It's all in his wrist.
Yeah, I call this spot ball
Yeah.
A60 game.
Oh yeah. Nah, he don't even know how. Boy, you about to unleash him.
Because when he hit it, he was like, "I almost had you." I said, "Dude, did you see where I was playing?"
You was playing you at the other
You see where I was
side.
playing?
He was playing you at the other. Yo,
No way.
He was playing you on the other side. No way you was going to hit over
No
there.
way you was getting
He was
over
already
there.
at the pitcher's mound.
I thought I could hit it further.
No, it was damn there.
At the pitcher's mound, yeah.
When I saw you, because you popped up earlier, and I said, "They fucking tearing up these dudes." I'm gonna take a couple steps back when he come up.
Yeah.
And when he swung and hit, I said, "Yeah, I'm already back here."
Nah, you
Let me
hit
get
that
it. But
shit.
you hit it. It was
Nah, you hit
almost on the other side.
Yeah,
You said,
nah, you hit-
"I just missed it."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm glad you did."
Yeah.
Because I wasn't ready for that one. But nah. Cavalli had made a comment about baseball players when I had left. And, we was coming in for practice. He let all the basketball players in. Now, mind you, they all on the baseball team with me.
Right.
He said, "Yo, you got baseball? Baseball is a faggot sport?"
Baseball is a faggot sport?
That's what he told me.
I've been
And when he said that, I said, "Really?" I said, "But you got 2 kids on your team that play baseball. That's what you calling them?"
right.
And he was like, "Nah, I'm just talking about you." I said, "I will never play for you."
Wow.
He ain't never said
Listen,
no. I
listen.
played for Coach Cavalli.
Out of all the kids that he's coached, I say that they never had a career like me in basketball. And I didn't even play high school basketball.
Yeah.
And still got full ride scholarship.
Yeah.
And what school
he
you
was
went
he was a swing game.
Huh?
Oh, that's right. He was in Wingate.
I was in Wingate. I was at Boys High. I played baseball with Preston White, Devon White nephew. He was in center field and I was in left. That boy was nice. His nephew, I think he got into some other stuff, but he was nice. But and then I left Boys High and I went to Wingate.
What year was that?
It was 90s.
Okay.
1990. It was 1990.
So now we get to the championship Sunday, game 1. Speedy is in DR. We're like, can you believe this? But he told us. So we got Ray J on the mound, game 1. Our same normal defense. And it was a struggle, but Ray J, he held him down. We wound up winning game 1. Game 2, we wound up going with Nelly. You know Nelly from the tournament. Lefty
Yeah,
Nelly.
Nelly. Queens. Nelly's
Yeah, Nelly from Queens.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Nelly, but I don't think he was built for this Brooklyn
They
softball.
killed him. He panicked and everything.
So we
brought
Ray J back in,
Ray J helped. They
and
never
Ray
scored
J
after
held
that.
them down, but we just didn't do
We couldn't
enough
come back.
offensively to help. So now the series is tied 1-1. The forecast calls for rain. It does rain, so y'all know what that means. Speedy's coming back next week, baby.
Oh yeah, I heard about the DR trip.
Yeah, so he was gone for 2 weeks, but we knew this. So we just, and to think about
might
it,
be in DR now.
Evolution was prepared to play without Speedy. It's just that Mother Nature didn't want to see that. And
But
Coach,
did you need Speedy?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
What?
I'm just asking because you guys.
Speedy hit too.
Hell yeah!
This is what I'm saying. You already won game 1. He wasn't pitching. You already did what you had to do. This is what I'm saying.
But we knew we was going to be in for a dogfight.
Okay, so
So
you made a difference.
And we needed our hound dog there. Ray
Speedy said, "No, I'm not in DR."
And you should be here. So we knew we was going to need our hound dog. Speedy is just, as for many years, he is just a difference maker. Not only the magic he creates while pitching, but he defends the middle. And then on top of that, he's going to hit the rock.
Yeah, that's what you needed.
And we needed that because Evo,
I
listen.
got a question about that championship game too.
For you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So now that Coach Don is up in heaven and Panamanian Mike Mom is up in heaven, they talk to God and say, "Listen, I need rain for one more Sunday." And it rained on Sunday. The following Sunday, we was all ready to rock and roll, fully loaded.
Everybody back.
What Kenny Kings didn't know is that they was about to embark on a team that wanted this so bad. And we was coming in full staff.
Let me ask you this question.
We've never been full staff the whole
What
season.
time was the game?
You right?
1:00.
So, what is your mindset as a player that won a con championship?
Well, Evo
Like,
does.
what are y'all thinking about? Because I
Evo
know
does.
if there's plenty games we
winning.
play.
Evo does what we normally do.
We do what we do. The night before,
You just sitting there, you anxious. You want to get to the
nervous.
park.
I was
No,
just
no, no, no,
more
no.
so like I said, I want to beat the shit out of them. Bottom line.
No,
I think
we went out.
We went out.
No, we was at Al crib. Kiba was there.
Kim was there.
Yeah.
We had
We went out. We was part. Listen,
Keep hanging out with the team. You should have been wearing the jersey for.
Listen.
Now let me tell you.
They actually
no,
took
no,
it.
no, okay,
They actually
I want
took
to-
it
I
out.
I want to throw it out
So
there.
y'all can lose. That's what it was.
Yo, me and Mel went to, and there was another night. Me and Mel was out. We went to like 3 parties. We getting off the elevator. My phone go off. Mel's phone go off. I said, "Who the fuck just text you?" I said, "Well, did Jacob text you?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "We gonna beat the shit out y'all niggas." Get the same text at the same time walking off an elevator. I'm like, "Yo, this nigga."
so that Sunday. When we got to the park, we did what we normally do.
We did a
stretch.
we
Everybody
did a moment of silence.
moment of silence.
Yeah.
And we just get in. And game 3, we won game 3, Speedy pitcher. They won game 4 with Speedy pitcher. Ray, go ahead.
Game 5. I wasn't in the lineup. Dio went to Mike. Because Mike already called out the lineup. Dio went to Mike. He said, "No, you need to put Ty in this game." I don't know why, but you have to put Ty in this game. I was not in game 5. Dio went to Mike and told him to make that change. And I wound up playing game 5.
What position?
Catching.
It was catching.
He had Alex catching.
It was a difference. He's more mobile. That's what it was. Alex wasn't.
He wasn't
like
mobile
he-
at first base when I tagged up from third base. That's a different story.
Oh,
No, but I'm
that's-
saying as far as back catching, there was a lot of foul tips or whatever,
Yeah.
and he would dive or he would get them, and he had the boom. So it was just something that I had that gut feeling.
And it's crazy when you hear veterans talk and they can see what might happen. They have an idea of that Tyreek needs to play because something might happen.
And something crazy
And something happened.
Something
They had bases
crazy.
loaded with no outs, and a lefty was up. No need to call no names. A lefty was up. Hit a pop up to the catcher, and Tyreek, like an alley cat, snapped back up there and caught it for the first out. The next batter then proceeded to not watch the field. We're going to call him Sonny. He didn't watch the field to realize that the second baseman already knows you're going to try to go to the right side of the field. So I'm going to put myself in a position to catch your line drive. That was the second out. And it was over from there.
It was another play though.
So then that
it
same
was another double. It was another play where you have Desmo on third, and it was a runner at second. Now the ball first
double play.
Double play. Now the
Get
ball
my
got hit
story
to Donnie.
Yes.
Donnie flipped it to Mel. Mel tagged second, but did not throw the first. Mel threw it home.
Because I saw Desmond
saw
jumping out
Desmond
that corner
going.
in the eye.
Now before this, me and Desmo was going,
That
jarring
was a big
the
play.
whole game.
That's a huge play. That's a huge
The
play.
whole game, me and Desmo going at it. He calling me bitches and all. We going at it. Now when Mel threw the ball home, I tagged him, threw him into the. We had the bat sitting there. The bats. He fell all into the bats and everything. I went over there. I said, "Who the bitch now?"
No,
That was 3
he
outs.
threw you into some bats.
But Mo told me this. I never knew this. He said, "Yo, Ty, I swear on my." He said, Don Moms was on the stand
told him he wasn't
and
gonna
told
score.
him, saying, "Don, he's not going to score. Don.
That's
He's not going to score."
if Mo was here, he could
He
tell
would
you,
tell
no,
you,
that's a true story.
I never knew that.
Dawn Moms, who we got to come to the game
Yeah.
because we wanted to do something special for her.
Right.
We wanted her to see us win this for her son, our coach. And she told, I remember that Desmond, I didn't know at the time, but Desmond told us,
Wow.
Dawn Moms told him, Dawn, he's not going to score. Like she talking to Dawn, like if he's at Dawn, he's not going to score.
Like
Desmond
Dawn
said
was
he looked
sitting
at her
right
like,
next
what? Out of here. And he didn't score.
That's crazy.
So that final game, Game 5, was about the team who just wanted it the most. Our defense that day, I think me and Donnie turned about 7 double plays, if I'm not mistaken.
7 double plays.
7 double plays.
I was part of 8. I like
It's
it.
a long game.
I heard it was crazy.
Yeah, and we went extra. And it's Bistro. Shout out to Bistro, man, who kept his team in the game.
God.
You know,
All he needed was
Shout
one
out to
run.
Bistro.
you know, he Bistro, believe it or not, did everything he could truly do. They had the hammer. He held us down for 5 innings without scoring. But they needed one run.
That fucking bastard. My brother.
Bistro.
That had the base load that came up and hit that shot.
Shot,
up the
yeah.
middle,
And he's
motherfucker.
fucking snagged it.
I was like, yo,
Bistro
I could
snagged.
not
Yo, we
believe
could. We was like, yo, what the? Yeah,
that ball was going right
And-
center, wide open.
Bistro was so in sync that game that our guy that we used to get teams rattled, Mike White, had the bat. Hell, Bistro, and we know we don't guard the pitches, but Bistro was so on that whole series that Mike White was like, nah, we gotta rattle this cage. We gotta do something. Not to say that worked because it kind of didn't, but we just had to let him hear something. But yo, he pitched his ass off, and they had an opportunity.
Yeah,
bases
oh my
loaded.
God.
2 outs.
I just knew the game was
Speedy's
over.
on the mound. Raul hits it
To Speedy.
to Speedy. It hits off Speedy leg.
It rolled up
his
his
glove,
arm.
rolled up his arm, and Raul,
He
for
doesn't
whatever
run.
reason,
He
never
goes to the
ran to
dugout.
first base.
Cookie doesn't run.
And he walks to the dugout.
Automatic out.
Speedy finally picks up the ball. Raul starts running, and my first baseman Flip stretches as far as he can to get the out call. And then from there, I think that's when we just scored like 2 or 3 runs just to put the game away on
They
defense.
came up a lot. They had
But I'll
bases
tell you
loaded
like this.
a lot.
I never seen the team lose a championship and they was out of the park in 2 seconds. Instead of congratulating, they was gone. I'm like, yo, where everybody go? You ever seen the Flintstones? Yeah, where everybody go? That was that type of day.
So we up
Remember,
the
we was the only ones in the park.
So we up 3 in the last inning. First batter hits it to our best defensive, the best defensive guy on the field. Oh God,
He drops it.
and it goes.
Not even that. Let's get to how we got the three runs. I was leading off the inning, but they took me out for Alex. Alex
Hits
now,
the bloop single. The bloop single. in front of
Lecce was playing center field.
Alex
Lecce was playing back. So
Lecce has listen.
They had
Lecce, Panama, Polo. Listen,
Polo, those
don't let them
those-
tell you nothing. They had the squad. They had this lefty named Calvin and
Calvin.
He
Calvin
was
was
hitting
hitting
the ball all over the park. Him and Polo. We was like, what? Then Lecce doing that. Lecce chopping that blow. He chopping. You can't do that.
Mike White started doing that shit.
Listen, they had a squad, man. Jacob at short. They had a squad. Aaron was hitting back then. They had Kibo on second. Even Gotti was killing us. My man Gotti,
definitely killed.
listen, they had a nice little squad over there. Let's not put that.
We was the better team.
Yeah, they was definitely had a squad out there. But
Yeah, so they took me out.
uh-huh.
Alex got up. Alex hit a blooper because Lecce was playing so far back. Now at this point,
Pitch runner. Alex ain't running.
So
Big
we
boy
throw-
got to come out.
we throw in SP.
SP.
SP is at first. Now who's up?
Eli.
hits a pop up to Lecce.
It's center field.
Lecce just regular.
And
SP tags up. We like, oh,
I'm
shit.
screaming, no! They call he slides. They call say, I'm like, yeah! It went just that quick because he tagged up on his own.
Jacob said God was on your side.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
right. We'll take it.
I'll take that any
listen,
day.
man.
So now Mike White
I
is
mean,
up.
Yeah, we'll definitely take that. I don't know if you
We'll
can
take
see
it.
that.
Yeah,
We
right
definitely see
there.
it.
That camera.
Oh,
That-
oh, right
you
there.
go, there you go.
Thank you, man.
So
Bless you, Jacob.
now Mike White is up. Mike White hits a bomb off the gate. He gets a triple.
Triple, yeah.
Little Mike is up next. Little Mike hits a double. That's 2 runs. Then you got Mel up. Mel hits a single. Little Mike scores. That's the 3 runs right there. That next inning, Mel.
So Calvin leads off. They got top of the line. They got Calvin is up, Lecce is up, Jacob is up. They got their boppers coming up, and we start off the inning, and Donnie just I don't know.
You got it, man.
Big-
Twilight was coming
Yeah.
in, though, bro. It was late, and he's left-handed. So
Yeah, that's
I
why-
played
yeah.
him in a perfect
That
spot.
sun-
I'm playing
No,
everybody.
It
that
was a
sun
lot-
was definitely right
Yeah,
at short.
the
No,
Twilight was coming
They
in.
had the lights and everything was
and that sun was coming down. It was right there.
It was,
yeah.
it was like probably 6 o'clock, 6:30.
That
I don't know
Sunday
what time it
was
was.
that Sunday was one of them dreary Sundays
Yes.
where let's get this game over.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll be back next week.
Right.
You know, that's how
And
that.
Donnie dropped it. We like, oh shit.
Mike actually cursed me out. I feel.
Nah,
Yeah,
then
I mean,
had
not
to
now!
tell everybody, calm down.
Not now, Donnie.
We got the next out. Then it was Speedy walked 2 in a row. We like, oh man, bases loaded. I'm like,
2 outs. Jacob's up.
Jacob is up with 2 outs. Now Jacob been hit.
Jacob popped up. Or
No,
something.
No,
Jacob,
no,
he
no.
wasn't a factor as much.
No,
he
it was
wasn't.
the inning before.
He was a big
A couple
threat.
innings before, Mike White caught the best catch I ever seen in my fucking life because it was a shoestring
Shoestring.
on the floor,
Mhm.
and Jacob hit it, and Mike, it was in the gap, and Mike White tracked it down and caught it right on the floor.
Mm-hmm. So now, mind you, Jacob is up with 2 outs, bases loaded.
We don't know what he's gonna do.
No.
Jacob
has
unpredictable.
the opportunity to really end this game. He could get a body go off that gate, and with his legs, he gonna try to score. He gonna give up his body to try to score to win in this game. And it just so happened, whatever Speedy was thinking the pitch, he hits it to Donnie.
Donnie
Throws it to Eli to step on third.
Eli stepped on
He didn't
third.
know, Eli doesn't step on third first. He didn't know what. Now, mind you, as an infield, the second base, I'm always calling what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Eli, if it's hit to you, you're just gonna step on third. Donnie, you get it to you. Look for the short route. I'm here. Eli's there. Eli, step on third. Everybody knows everything is occupied, but Eli is always Eli. He has a whole bunch of talent. But he's just out there, man. He ain't thinking about how many innings. But don't get it twisted. You hit it to him, he gonna catch it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what he do next with it, we don't know. Because he's just out there. But he can play the game.
Oh no, I know that.
So now, Donnie gets hit. Eli goes to try to tag the runner who stops. He's looking for the bag. He finally tags the bag, tags the runner, and we hear out. And
Mike said he hit him now.
Oh, he wanted to get tagged down on
Mike, what?
Mike Rogers, our lefty, your brother, our legal batter.
No, outside. No, he on
Yeah.
live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we wind up, doing what Vita said we was going to do, man, and it was beautiful because
It was a lot of tears.
we got to do it in front of Coach Dawn mom, and to see her be able to see when her son started from 8 years old all the way up to now.
You know how hard it is to win a championship at Kingston Park?
Listen, there's a lot of guys still trying.
Kiva, Sonny,
He said Kiva.
Nah, this is the truth, bro.
That is.
Remember
Let alone the first
you
year.
remember Jack Love from Black Sun?
Yeah, 31, Jack Love.
Jack Love. He popped up in my head, man. I said, what a great guy, man.
Yeah,
I said,
Jack Love.
we lost him a couple years ago.
we did.
Cancer. Crazy.
Pitching
The guy,
real
he always,
Jack
every
Love.
time we seen Jack Love, it was a smile.
Yeah,
Black Sox.
we know Jack Love very well.
Jack Love used to do what he
Jack
did.
Love.
Jack Love, good people.
Shout out to all the people that not here, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Big
Shout out to all our
Sean,
legends.
Heavy.
Head,
Ali.
the list
Listen,
is-
listen.
the list
That's
is
the
long.
thing about doing what we're doing, and the reason why I create this. I keep telling people it's not about me; it's about you. You guys create the story because the history is there already. We just got to get it documented. You know what I'm saying? So as many stories that we can tell, that's why we're doing it. There was no film when we were playing. I'm sorry, when I started out there playing, there was no film. When
You know who the
guys-
only guy that used to film us back in the days, and he was a teacher in Boys High. He lived on Stuyvesant. He used to
I know exactly who
You know what I'm talking
I
about.
know what you're talking about.
he used to drive the Jaguar with the I forgot his name, but he was in high school with us. My brother Marvin know him. He was a teacher in the high. He used to come to the park, I think, and Ray had him come to the park and film us.
Vita and Jacob is going there right there.
Yeah, they going at it.
Who's that?
Vita and Jacob.
Oh my God.
So, win the championship next year. What's going on?
Next year we add the great Jeff
Roberts.
Woo.
And Jamal.
and Jamal and Magic.
Jeff.
That's right. and then the league folded.
The league folded. The
So
Cubs.
we didn't get that opportunity to.
We was a game away.
We didn't get the opportunity to.
We was a game
Show
away.
out.
We lost Showtime, T.O. and them. Even though
In the playoffs?
most of their players wasn't there the whole season, but wasn't qualified. But that's another story.
But Showtime
They
was
had
Showtime was
qualified.
loaded. Showtime had everybody from Queens.
Yeah, they had that was their Queens team.
Yeah, but even with that being said, we still had opportunity to beat them
win.
between the lines, and we didn't.
We didn't.
Right.
We lost. And the Cubs closed it out.
Yeah, we know Cubs won the last championship. Man.
Well, Mike gonna say that, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, might you?
It's all good, man. Listen,
It's
I ain't
fine.
mad at nobody.
I'm not.
I don't
And
want
then,
plenty of championships after that,
And,
man.
in
what I'm saying?
2010, after that,
Oh,
so it don't matter.
Crime said was it Dallas? Was a guy named Dallas that was reported?
No, not Dallas.
Dallas.
No, they said nah, Crime. So you can hear it. So, okay, y'all played 2 years.
Mhm.
What happened?
The league folds.
So after the end of the season in 2010, we were coming to revamp. We realized some of the things that we needed to do as far as to get back to where we was, and it was just pretty much going back with our core. And how we started this thing again. Not really getting too much outside help. Staying within our own core, because now we got the young boys coming up, and you see two of them are here now. So. We were on our way to get this thing going.
Homie first year, we played in a different league. It was some games was in
So-
most of the games was in St. John's.
So in 2011, the
Homie-
league
homie
it didn't
come-
exist anymore.
Yeah.
So we stayed together and we joined other leagues, but our home league it wasn't there anymore, and it just, believe it or not, it just wasn't the same.
Same.
It hurt the community, man.
It definitely did.
You know,
Even
those people
playing
wanted-
in that park
Those
this
people,
past summer was different.
those people wanted us out of Kingston Park.
Bad.
And you know what? It was the worst thing, because when they got rid of the softball league out of Kingston Park, there were nothing but shootings and everything that was in that park. When we were there, we made sure that everything was good. bro.
Basketball league was going on at
Everything.
that time. Everything was going
It was
on.
the worst.
Your Sundays was all day.
Yeah,
So you
it was the
never
worst
did
feeling
that.
for those people that lived
I
on
didn't get a house about
that
12.
was the worst
Yeah.
thing that they did, was get rid of our softball, because they made your community worse. Because we had the police out there with us, and everything.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching out, making sure your kids are good. Your kids can run out.
Yeah, your kids could run
Matter
around.
of fact, you could come outside your house and we was feeding people. Yo, you want something to eat? You want a
Yeah.
burger? And you know what? Those people were sitting there being real petty. Oh, we don't need this, bro. But yeah, you know what? Watch this when we don't need it.
You know how long Kingston Park we. When I first started going into that park in 1964, they were playing softball. Sunday was all day thing. That's when most of the bars sponsored teams.
See, he going back to Big D, Kokomo. He talking about Heavy, Rich. He talking about Tony Cherry, Mr. Ira, all of them.
Little Mike,
Little
all of
Mike.
them.
He go Boomer, Big Boomer.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him. I'm like, yo, when I seen him in the house, I'm like, yo, he gave me love. Yo, what up, bro?
Malcolm
That's how it
Bar, I mean,
That park was
Sunday,
We've
different,
been with
man.
him since we was kids, and look at that, you was right there.
It's crazy.
That
Him
park
and my
was
brother.
different, man. They
Not
used to
even
put-
knowing.
They used to put up
Him and
money.
Marvin.
Yo,
yeah,
I found out that
that was money league.
Dav
yeah.
coach
No, I'm saying
was
when
doing
they,
uncle.
when they
Yeah,
they used to
I
have
remember that.
extra money in the league for when the right and lefties used to bust the windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had
They had
insurance.
They had insurance, so
Yeah.
when the bust the windows,
Listen,
they
I think
took
that's
it out
why
of
they
your
remember
pocket.
they added the extra gate with the
No,
net.
that right
after
there
a while.
was BS.
That it didn't make a difference.
What they
You
should
hit it,
do
it
is
was
should have
gonna
tore
go
the
out.
park up and fix the park. But
Yeah.
that was BS.
Well, they doing the park over.
They doing
you
the park
gotta
over.
remember, you
Munson
had
doing
Lady
Yeah,
D,
Munson
you
they
had
gonna do
you had Coach Haskins, you had all these people who were the commissioners.
Lady
You know
D.
what? They did the right thing, but people just didn't understand what they were doing. You know, everybody thinking about money, where somebody's stealing.
Like,
Nobody's
come back.
stealing anything, man. You know, so it's just unfortunate that
City.
people got that in their head.
So now you guys are doing your thing individually. Todd, Mel, Donnie, Mike Ashby, you guys. In your careers individually, Donnie, I'm gonna go to you. Where do you feel you was at that time? Did you feel like you was on that top tier? The Al Watsons, the Butch, the Sevens.
For me, I didn't want to put my name in that category. I just let the players talk, and if whatever category they want to put me in, it's good. I just want to follow suit. And playing shortstop, a premier position, knowing that Butch Nelson played there, Tack played there, Al Watson played there. Those are the two I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to follow them and try to be as good as them,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure I carry on the torch. And that's all I want to do, and just continue to learn from them. That's all I really want to do. And whoever puts me in a certain category as compared to them, so be it. Whatever the case may be. All I know is I put every effort I could into doing what they did, and that's all I can hold my head to.
Good
Because
answer.
everybody has a category. You know, you're gonna meet a different group that say, "Yo, you should be with this group. You should be with this group. You should be with this group." Like me personally, I always tell everybody, and this is just me. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I put two center fielders before me, Derek Matamora and Miller. Those are the two that I always respected playing center field, and that's never going to change. So when it comes to any category or any class, those two brothers will always go before me. I don't care what anybody say. So I don't really care what anybody say. It's really about what you do in that field, and you know what you've done, and you know what you've accomplished. That's why I said, you know, how do you feel like you belong in that group? That's what
It
I'm
comes
saying.
down to consistency. Yeah. That's the only position I played in Kingston. I didn't play no other positions. So just to follow those guys, it was just an honor. You know, I learned from all three of those
I got a
guys.
question for the young boy before they leave.
That's good to see.
Yo, be safe.
The homie never got a chance to play in Kingston, right?
I played when we beat y'all.
Beat who?
Oh, she took a shot at you.
The
old
old
heads,
heads.
A60 game.
First
A60
of all,
game.
you didn't beat us.
No, we beat y'all.
No, don't worry. Don't worry.
We beat y'all.
No, you didn't beat us.
We beat y'all, bro. I was not. You was not there at the game.
I was present.
Oh, okay. He wasn't there, but he was present. All right.
I was present.
Yo, listen, I said it's
But
okay.
a lot of,
man.
but that wasn't what. But you know what? Y'all enjoy that little punk victory.
We did.
Oh,
And that was a punk victory.
Y'all enjoy that little punk victory. Ty ain't gonna never have that many hits again. You know, that's fine. We're gonna put all that to rest.
See y'all next year.
July 9th is all gonna be 2022
And I'm
is
standing
all
on the
gonna be
whole
done.
team.
You know what I'm saying?
Jacob.
And I'm bringing a team from Texas, so it's gonna be different.
He said we could keep Jacob.
Point on that one. So, what's next for Elo?
Wow.
But we always stay together.
40 and over.
40 and over is the
40 and over. Last year, well, this year rather, you know, I brought the 40 and over team. You know, 40 and over came back, and so I decided, you know what, I'm going to coach. I always considered myself a better coach than a better player.
You coach me Little League Baseball.
Baseball.
Come on, boy.
I coached him. I coached Alex.
Uh-huh.
I coached Little Mike.
He took over for Dawn.
Excuse me, though.
When y'all left,
Yeah.
he did. He coached us.
That's
I,
good.
I had the RBI. I had an RBI team.
And we went away for the tournament. And we got kicked.
We got kicked out.
He left
because
Dawn in
I
charge.
left Dawn in
I
charge.
see you watching Al.
And our Henias and them tore Mary
Tore Mary Bertram
Bertram
back.
and all that. And they threw us
Yeah,
out.
definitely
about
big
the
shout
league.
out.
Number one
Definitely
seed
big
team
shout out
out
to
the
Coach
league.
Haskins, Commissioner.
Oh, big shout out
That's
to
crazy.
Coach
That's
Haskins
huge. That's huge.
Me, Boston, who else? And Greg
and Greg
to
Denver.
Denver for the.
So I was at 17. I started coaching.
Out the league.
I just knew that's something, you know, being around Dawn and Romaine. I guess that was just my calling.
Renee.
So even in Cambria, like when Mel is on the field, if I'm not playing, I'm making all of the decisions while Mel is on the field. That way, Mel could just focus on. Even though Mel was the head coach, I was right there.
You guys been together for a long time. Man.
Yeah.
You know what?
When Sin
That's
City
love.
and all these
So I
other
get to that.
teams,
So now,
like,
that's. I
yo,
guess that'll be a question for
For
me.
Mel, yeah.
yeah.
So as far as what Evo is still doing, I mean, you know, we're still around. Some of us are still playing softball, so we are putting our expertise with different teams. So Tariq has the Evolutioner. You see, he got the shirt on and the 40 and over. Donnie is running Magic City / Warriors over in Saturday St. John's League, and then
Okay.
I'm a part of a team called Sin City. And that team kind of reminds me of Evo as far as the bond and the friendship and how they've grown up.
I
So
think it's all an umbrella, man.
yeah, so my job is to pretty much just as the older statesman there, I love watching them young boys play and run around the field. I remember when I could do that stuff. So me being over there now with Sin City and now also Hawk City, with those young boys is just keeping them grounded, bridging that gap between the young. Well, I'm an old guy now compared to them. They call me OG now, which is weird because I was the young guy to the older guys. So now it's just me, being that leader for them because they play the game totally different. They not as disciplined and as humble. They want their legendary status, their first game of the season.
Right.
They don't want to earn it. They feel that this one hit right now makes them the greatest of all time. So it's just me just trying to keep them humble, slowing the game down for them. And I'm just honored that at 40 years old, these guys that are in their 20s, they still call me to come play. We got a championship game tomorrow. And they be having my. I'll be out. Yeah, Far Rock. They be having me out there still, second base, right field. And it's just I'm just trying to just give them what was given to me, to let them see the game, because the game is right here. You got to play it physically, but if you slow it down right here, oh my God, the way you can, and that's what I'm showing them. And we just played a few weeks ago to get to the chip, and they really invested everything that I was trying to show them, and we got to the chip, and now we're on our way to possibly win the chip. So I just trying to give back what everybody gave me.
Stupid.
So that's it. So,
OG, got to take my arthritis medicine.
Yeah, listen, Crowd. These guys are. Let me tell you, I'm on a team where the youngest guy is 19, and then the guy next to him is like 27, and I'm 40. So you do the math. I get a courtesy runner. I love it though. I get a courtesy runner.
I'm just humble. Like I got to learn from D.O., D-Mac, Coach right here. Even Mel. Even though I coach Mel, which was crazy to me. Like I coach Mel.
Never told him that.
I coach Mel. I coach Mike White. I coach Alex. I coach Little Mike. I coach Boss. Rest in peace, Boss. That's my little brother. And I feel, happy. Like when I got the 40 and over team, Mel was like, nah, this is you. I'll be your captain, but this is all you.
It's yours.
This is all me. Every decision I made was based on me. I get Mel input here and there. And I was like, nah, this look good. He's like, yo, I came one game away from going to the championship.
First year out. And remind you, we played a team that played together in so many different leagues, so they are already a team. And you tried to get a group of guys to become a team in a half of a season. And you made it to the chip. And take your hat off to you, man. It's not easy. They're harder to win, hard to get to, but to take a team that you just trying to just put pieces together as the season go on, you got this guy here, this is trying to figure out, and you playing against a team next door to you that's been playing together in how many leagues for how many years. So I take my hat off to you, man.
That's what's up. I'm learning and bridging. Like next year though, the 40 and over, watch out. I'm just gonna say that. Right. That's all I'm gonna say. They might call my picture illegal.
Something, Ty. I'm just so proud of all you guys, man. I remember one time I was talking.
Where I stand with them second base.
This was a couple of years.
In my eyes, you're the best, man.
Nah.
I'm sorry.
Which one second base with?
And Kingston?
In my eyes.
Nah, not even.
You the best. I'm sorry.
No.
No disrespect.
There's two guys. There's two guys.
Yeah, everybody's entitled to their
opinion. This is my opinion.
I feel you. If I'm looking at second baseman, I'm looking at two guys before I can even consider myself. And there's probably guys that I never just saw play the game, but I gotta definitely shout out Al Watson at second base. I oh my God, watching him just so smooth, man. And that's where I get it. I steal a lot of my stuff. I steal from Butch Nelson, Tap. Al Watson, and then one guy also still from Jeff Roberts.
Boy, Jeff.
Jeff
Yo,
was smooth.
Jeff
was
Roberts, oh my.
And them low top Adidas, I don't know how he did
No,
it.
he was playing in them good
Boom.
year. He
Good
played in them blip. He played in them that real stuff.
And they were short.
We playing in bullshit Nikes. He got the Goodyear tires on, man.
Hold up. He pull up in the Maybach.
Oh yeah, Maybach music. Yeah, so from what I saw out there, those two definitely showed me the definition of how to play and understand second base.
I guess
And I also want to shout out one more person. I never really got him. I never got a chance to see him play second, but Kevin. Pickett Wilson.
Wilson Pickett.
Yes. I never really got a chance, but at practice I would see him. And
that's right. Kev played with us too.
Yeah, with the legends.
The things he told me in my ear of how to position at second base is what allows me to be as good as I am. I never really got a chance to see him be Pickett, but I've heard about him. But I've actually got wisdom from him in my ear to telling me as a second baseman, this is the things you need to do. So I took what he told me and see what Al Watson and Jeff does, and then I mixed it up in a pot, and I made Mel Ratcliffe.
Kev made it look so easy, and he'd sit there and he'd talk shit to you too.
Yeah. So I never got a chance to see him, but I definitely want to shout him out because he put those words.
You probably did, but don't remember. I'm telling you, when I first came in with the legends and Horsemen.
You gotta remember, Desperados, we played at 9 o'clock. We gotta ask when we left.
I
didn't watch nothing. We didn't watch anything.
Right.
So if you wasn't playing on the other side and I could see while I'm in the dugout, I was gone. I probably had a matter of fact, I had to meet Donnie go play baseball somewhere probably. He's like, yo, Mel, how you doing so good? I said, I'm gonna get you one day to come out there. He's like, nah, I ain't doing that.
I guess for me, seeing you for so long, being around you, that's why I feel the way I feel about you.
Thank you.
I've been with you since you was 13. I'm 42, about to be 43 in a couple weeks.
God damn you!
Oh,
damn!
Somebody said that in the back.
All right, Auntie Boo.
yeah.
Said that.
Yeah.
So even with Donnie, like I've been around Donnie since he was 13. If my brother would have kept playing, I would have said he was one of the greatest shortstop I ever seen. If he would have kept playing.
I'm tell you, when I had your brother, nobody could play shortstop.
Al, my brother was a fucking monster.
I played with your brother too.
Nah, you ain't playing with my brother. You was older than me, man. You play with my uncle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you know,
You play with SP. You play with little Mike. Uncle.
If you
little
put
Mike
it that
brother.
way, you're right. I remember when I was in college, tearing up the MEAC division at Norfolk State University. Let me put that out there. Led the nation in singles for only a few days, but I did lead the nation in singles for a few days. And I remember signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I said, Ty, we out of here, baby.
I remember getting that call, Mel. Yo, I'm signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're gonna be my manager.
We out, man. And
that's no better.
I never finished my senior
For me,
season. I had a car accident that just.
For me, that was no better. Like as a friend, for you to say that I want you to be my manager as I'm about to sign to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They don't get no better than that.
Yeah, that's low. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing.
That's why I always can. Don't get me wrong. Al Watson, I seen Al Watson play. I seen Jeff play. But in my eyes, I've seen you since you was 13.
So you're looking for different eyes.
No, what he's doing is he's just saluting his brother.
I appreciate
it.
it.
I seen Donnie.
He's giving love.
I
to
played
his
against
brother.
Donnie.
About that.
I played against Donnie. I seen Donnie do it.
It's a lot of people.
But I'll take that Evo 09 defense and put it up against
any defense.
The
team's defense. Not individuals.
Our chemistry up the middle was OD crazy.
Time out. You're switching this conversation a little too fast.
All right, slow it up for Al.
No, you ain't got to slow it up, but get a little ahead of yourself.
Yo, shut up, V. Talking about damn Ty.
Y'all want that 09 against any defense. Any other. Now, you got to remember, your defense against some of these offenses, you got to remember, you don't have Speedy pitching.
Why not? If
Why
he's
not? If he's on our roster.
because he's been playing with one of those other teams because he's one of their top pitchers at the time too.
Well,
All right, well, he could hit for them and then come pitch. You can't, you know, hey, it is what it is. He can still hit it.
hey,
Go
like,
get your hit.
like Bernie Mac said, they can't erase who he was.
You know, it was just some lineups in Kingston, and I'm just thinking just more better than Black Sox and AL. Those are the three in prime.
Oh, no, definitely.
It's just different. Like it's just different. Those are just different. But yeah, defense was good. But then there was some defense where I played behind, where I got Al at short. I had well, you can vice versa. 7 at short, Al at second, Butch
On
at
one
third.
team?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, I had that at going away in Maryland.
No, I had that in tournaments too.
Yeah, but I never seen that right here.
The hardest thing was when Tony used to go, y'all pick and choose where y'all want to play.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like when we
And
did
then the outfield, like when you played the outfield, my first tournament, Dio, Foster, Junior, Rich Murray, Ali coming off the bench, but DH, and I'm sitting there like, I am not playing this weekend.
Sound like us, remember?
Like, I'm not playing this weekend. There's no way I'm getting on the field. And you know what? They all hitting bombs. They still running. I'm like,
I'm thinking about
Tony, why the hell you bring me here?
Yep.
Like, this don't make no sense.
Yeah, I played one game in that tournament.
Remember, I was hurt.
Yeah, it
Let's
don't
do
make
my
sense.
son.
And I told
Played
Tony,
one game.
I said, Tony, play out in Battling for.
Yo, we go to Westminster. We supposed to be, I guess, the top of the young kids, right?
Yeah.
So me, Donnie, and Panamanian Mike. We down there regardless of that Heavy, Dio, Tony Cherry, Chuck, Al Watson, Butch Nelson. I mean, they got Maul in there, Mac there.
Yeah.
They met us down there. I mean, Dougie. I mean, they.
Earl.
I mean, yeah, they just got a squad, and they play the first game, they win. They play the second game, they win. They play the third game, they put me, Donnie, and Panamanian and Mike in. So
That was it for me. I had one game done.
It was just trying to get everybody acclimated into. People don't understand. Playing with a W in these tournaments is totally different from playing out here.
You ain't
in
lying.
St. John.
I remember my
And you
first
also
The
got to
game is
remember, we
fast
only
enough.
did
The
it
ball is coming
one
at
time
you
a year.
quicker.
You remember that first year
We
I
don't
went
It's a
play
tournament.
Dudley
No, you remember that
ball
shit?
in St. John.
Yo,
We
I
don't
swear
play
to God.
ball in Brooklyn.
JB
So we going to
Senior.
a tournament where you got these dudes getting paid money. They're getting flown in from helicopters to come play on this other team that we playing against. Where dudes sitting here hitting a ball, 2.2 seconds. Right by you.
I understand shortstop.
My first tournament, this was one of the funniest
Come on
shits that
now.
ever happened, right? So I'm at second. Now JB Senior is coaching third. I don't know who was up the bat. A base hit. This nigga, he's like, yo, you go home. As I'm running home, now I was slimmer at that point. As I'm running home, I see the ball pass me. I'm like, why did he send me? I just got there. I said, you know what? Here you go. I'm out.
Do you remember this story, Dio? When we was at the tournament, and I think it was in Hampton. The dude name on the bat was Derek Oliver.
Yep, absolutely.
Derek said, damn, they gave me a bat and I didn't even know about it.
Yo, and I seen that dude play.
Dude, yeah.
White guy.
White guy.
White
Yep.
guy. Derek Oliver.
Yep.
Little motherfucker.
I
Had his own
said,
back.
Dio said, damn, they didn't even tell me about it. They gave me a bat.
Motherfucker came back. Bruce had the bat. He said, yo.
These two motherfuckers right here.
Mine. That's
I'll
wish
never-
it was.
Me and Al talk about this
Same name.
every time I talk to Al, we talk about the same shit. This fat little bastard right here, batting Al at third base. We playing with bad boys.
Right there. Why not be a fat little
You
guy?
fat
You fat
bastard.
trying to come get the motherfucking man.
I just want to know, right? Nah, fuck that.
I just trying to come get a pin.
You fat bastard. I'm playing first. Now this Al is at third. Jamal
And they
hits
on the
a
2
rocket
yard
to first.
About to walk back in for a touchdown.
Oh, Ohio? Oh, listen.
Jamal hits a rocket to first. I catch it. It spins me around. This motherfucker crossing home plate. I just threw the ball back to Ray J, like, here, throw it around.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't know. I think I was on speed that day. I don't know. I was just mad that the game was so close.
Donnie like, yo, what just happened? I said, I don't even know what just happened.
I'm gonna sit up and like, yo, what?
But me and Jamal, but me and Jamal already talked because we already pissed.
We was beating them.
We pissed. I'm like, yo, Jamal, we gotta do something, dude. We the top of the order. Was that when we was first and second, Jamal?
We was beating them.
Yeah.
We was top of the order. I said, yo, I'm gonna get on. When I get on, you hit a bomb, dude, and we gonna turn this game. We gonna score. And I think I got up and hit a triple. And I'm standing on third, and I'm like, all right, I know he's gonna hit it. I know. And he looked at me. I already knew where he was going. He going right to right field. Dude, and when the ball left his bat so quick, and I'm like stuck, like, damn. But I said he turned all the way around.
The ball.
And when I got home, I said, oh.
Jamal hit it so hard, it turned me around. Like, I didn't have a choice.
That was funny.
It's either catch it or get hit.
That was funny. That was funny.
It turned me around. And as I turned around, I see this motherfucker crossing home plate. I just tossed the ball and Ray J. Donnie looking at me, Mel in the outfield, like, yo, what the? I'm like, I don't know what just happened.
That was funny.
I ain't never seen nothing like that.
You ain't gonna see it again.
No,
I'll tell you that right now.
You ain't doing that no more?
Run right to the dugout.
Kiba had him out there playing in them Griffies.
Oh,
I was there for that.
Kiba, you owe me a check. Kiba, you owe me a check for them.
You see it? Al was in left field in them Griffies. I remember everybody sitting like, yo, Al, you playing the dub? You wildin'?
And they just came out like the week before.
They still sitting in my box. I got them cleaned up.
I remember.
Well, I was not supposed to play if the team would show up.
Absolutely right.
I'm coming to watch, and Keith was like, yo, you playing? I'm like, I'm not doing nothing. I was there, down there, showed up. I said, I'm not playing. You got all these dudes. He said, no, you got to play. We don't got enough.
They lucky I showed up.
Right, because you just had walked up.
I was coming from Cambridge.
You was coming from
I had opened the day in Cambridge.
Yo, I'm looking. I said, yo, dude, I don't even have no shoes. He said, yo, just playing those. I said, playing what? He said, playing those. I said, yo, listen, man. You don't understand what it took to get these, brother. And he was like,
People owe you a pair of sneakers.
Yes, he do.
yeah.
Them shits is like
But instead, he
$400
just got me a 6-pack. But that's okay. But we're gonna close out. Now, you got anything you want to touch on, brother? Because you've been sitting here looking quiet.
Nah, I'm good. I mean, people gonna talk whatever they want to talk, man. And
No, but talk your
But
piece.
anybody talk about when Frankie and Donnie's gonna fight?
Yeah, we talked
Frankie
about that.
Rodriguez, Major Leaguer.
Oh, we ain't talking about that.
Nobody talked about the fighting.
story.
That was the funniest shit ever.
He come in and want to talk about fights. Somebody said there's not no fights.
Nah, that's a good story that people.
It's all about love here, man. It's never peace, bro. I ain't listen. We too old for this shit. So enjoy life, man.
Right now, I'm just trying to, coach my way to another championship in Cambria and in 40 and over with Evo. I got my. Hopefully, fat nigga won't be umpiring this year.
Yeah, there was Marley.
He was supposed to play with me.
Fat nigga.
Yeah, you're going to have to
Now
fight.
when you gonna come and eat my food?
And you
I sure am.
That's what I'm saying. In your crib, you say
First
that
of all, Jamal act like when we don't call each other or see each other, we not fat niggas.
Of course we always
All right,
see.
well, but you on camera saying this now. So
No, don't say fat nigga. Just do like Ron Tillman say, you fat bastard.
Rest in peace, Ron.
Nah, but I'm just
That's
me.
all I'm saying.
Me personally, I'm just trying to get this 40 and over team to where they need to be. With the help of Mel, Donnie coming on. Even when Dio wasn't there the whole year, but he was still calling me, asking me, what was going on and everything. Every week he would call me.
Yeah, I'll check in. Check in, make sure you're good.
But I just want everybody to know who getting a 40 and over team. Y'all better watch your ass.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Mel, you got something you want to close out with?
The game of softball has been good to me. I met a lot of good brothers playing the game of softball. I just hope that at the end, the game of softball will say that I was good to it. With that being said, I enjoyed my time on the field, and I'm still trying to just get the young boys to follow suit of what the other generation started many years ago before me. So That's it, man. I'm still playing.
Till the wheels fall off.
But they falling.
Donnie?
It ain't the wheels, this is
Yeah,
legs.
same here. I don't play as much as other people do. I play once every Saturday in the summer. I used to play full time, so I'm just trying to win one. I haven't won one in what 12 years.
Been a long time
12
for you,
years.
boy.
So
You got a few tournaments though with Sin City.
Yeah, you got a few in
You got
there.
a few tournaments.
I'm just
Donnie
trying to get
trying to-
one. I'm trying to get one and walk off into the sunset. Go
Donnie
back
trying to
to
get that 40 and over.
and that's it. You know what I mean, just again learning from Al Watson and Bush Nelson and taking a piece from all those three guys. I hope someday somebody could think I belong in that same conversation.
I feel you.
No doubt.
That's
No
it.
doubt. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Well, we're going to close out, man.
Dio,
with
I
some-
don't know.
Dio? No.
Theo is a living legend.
Yeah, he don't need to talk. He doing what he's doing right
Quiet
there.
assassin.
Shout out to the host and the hostess for
I got
giving
my
us the
little man
crib.
right here, Jamal. Listen, Jamal grew up with me. I'm talking about the projects, bro.
Yeah, I need some-
So,
as soon as this is over.
it's all good.
A hater, dude.
Love this dude.
Who is he
man. Him
talking
and his
about?
brothers, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. They
But
grew
Thank
up
you
with
to
us.
my aunt and uncle for
Uncle.
opening up the
Yeah,
door.
I appreciate that.
I wish he would turn the camera so y'all can see it's like real nice setup in here, man. Smell good in here, all that, man.
Bed Bath and Beyond all up in here.
Bed Bath and
Yeah,
Beyond.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mickey Mouse over here.
I'm done.
listen, she come out to do trees. Let us know. I'll let you know what the price
Shout
is.
out to Baby Zion.
You good?
Yeah, on that note.
On that note,
Evo out, baby.
Oh,
09 chips. 09 chips. Drink chips in the building.
A60's out.
I mean, you got crack on the block.
Yo.